Let's do this. Get ready for the Dirt Life Show.
Yeah, we are ready for the Dirt Life Show. I'm Georgie Hamill. This is my co-host extraordinaire, Cody Sanders. What's up, Cody?
What's going on, man?
How you doing today?
Tired.
Long day at work?
Yep.
Right on, man. Well, you're still getting it done, though, making that money.
That's right, dude. It's gotta support my habit, dude.
Yeah. Well, your Dune habit these days now.
It's expensive.
Yeah. Well, it's expensive, but it's fun, man.
Oh, I know.
So we got episode 10 of Dirt Life Show tonight. It's pretty phenomenal, man. We're in the double digits now.
I can't believe it.
It's pretty cool. I'm stoked on it. I'm really pumped to have tonight's guest, Mario Bonfante Jr. on. He's a badass all around. Like the dude, I say this a lot in every episode, but he holds a special piece in my heart because he is very much like myself. He's been injured. He broke his neck in a bicycle accident. But before that, he used to race dirt bikes, motocross, and he also raced street bikes. So he knows speed really, really well. And he did kind of the same thing that I did when he broke his neck. He had to go back to school because he kind of was forced to get a job. You know what I mean? So he moved. He tried to see what he could do to be an engineer. And we'll let him talk more about that. But he come up with, like I said it today in a social media post, necessity is the key to invention. And his necessity is that he can't move his arms very good, but he still wants to drive a race car, right?
Yeah.
So he come up with this crazy steering contraption. Like, he engineered the whole thing. He bought a 3D printer. He printed it all out. Dude, crazy,
I can't wait till everyone
stuff.
gets to see that thing, man.
Dude, it's nuts.
Yeah.
Like, able-bodied dudes with strong arms could totally benefit from this thing.
Oh, yeah.
Like, they could haul way more ass because they don't have to use all their feet and it's like drumming with like extra arms.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it's so cool.
Yeah.
And so I can't wait till everybody talks or sees what, we're going to talk to him about. And I just think it's really cool that he can come up with something like that to make his passions and dreams come true. So props to Mario for doing all that stuff. So, yeah, like I said, episode 10, man, we're pumped. We still have the same good sponsors. We're still looking for more. We have all the same friends. Can't wait. We got one of your friends giving you shouts outs.
Oh, it's my aunt.
Well, she's still your friend, though, right?
Yeah. Kinda.
Yeah, so I can't wait to talk to Mario today. But let's thank our sponsors this afternoon. And Shock Therapy. Those guys have been a huge help to us. They're putting on a contest, I heard.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. They had one last week. I even entered in it, dude.
What's it all about?
They're giving away a free set of to get your shocks done.
Like shock revalve, springs and all that stuff?
Yeah. Last week, you post a video or a picture, and the winner, I don't remember the name, posted a video.
Oh, really?
And he won, yeah. And then this week, they're doing another one, like the best costume video.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So they're doing a whole bunch of content creation.
Yeah,
That's kind of cool.
It's really cool. I watched the video on it today, and he was in a T-Rex outfit.
Oh, really? Nice.
It was really cool. Like, he was walking into shock therapy, and like the front desk guy had a water cup. So as he's walking, they made that sound where the water would move.
Oh, really?
Like in Jurassic Park. Yeah, it was really cool.
That is pretty cool. Yeah, it's cool to see that. Like last week, we talked to Josh Weesey about content is king and sponsorships and stuff. So it's cool to see the adverse of that, like a cool company like Shock Therapy doing that content creation and getting people and customers involved in it. And obviously, it benefits the customers too because you get free suspension if you.
I'm going to go meet all those guys this week. I'm going to stop by and hang out.
At the Dunes? Yeah. Justin told me earlier this week that he's going to be working all weekend at the – they have a cool little place out there in Glamis that he actually owns the land. He paved it all so they can do like bring the semi out, do all the shocks and stuff.
Nice setup, man.
It's really cool. And he obviously goes and has some fun too when he has a little bit of off time. So that's cool. We also want to thank Fuel Wheels. Fuel Wheels is they just recently got acquired by Wheel Pros, which is KMC and stuff, so they're all going to be together. So that's a pretty cool acquisition. So all those guys are going to have a lot more products on their plate. So it'll be cool to see what happens in the next year or so. It's really neat though. I really appreciate those guys for helping us out. Clearly, they make badass looking wheels too.
Yeah.
Zollinger Racing Products. Those guys have been doing a lot of stuff lately, man. They've been doing like rock racing kind of stuff. Have you seen that?
No.
So basically, what it is I saw some videos and the Revival guys did it too. The Revival off-road team with their YXE.
Mm-hmm.
It's at the track in Reno, Nevada, the Lucas track.
Oh, that was this weekend. With them. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I did. I followed on it.
Yeah, and the Zollinger guys are doing that too. But it's on the Lucas off-road track. But they just put a shitload of big-ass rocks and boulders.
Dude,
and wood
I
and
saw
stuff.
it. That was crazy.
It's pretty ridiculous.
That's crazy.
Like the speeds aren't high or anything, but it's crazy. And I don't know. I mean, I don't know if I would enjoy that racing all that much, but those guys love it, man.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And it's a battle of attrition because you can mess up stuff big time.
Revival Racing's from in Benson. Tony McAbee. Yeah, local guy.
Yeah. So that's crazy. So they're from Southern Arizona and they went all the way up there. That's pretty cool though, man. Dudes living their passion just like Mario. That's neat though. And even traveling that far, you can run into so many different things. Like it's 1,200 miles, 1,500 miles up to Reno from Southern Arizona. So that's pretty cool that they went up there and did all that stuff. Did they get back to work?
On their way back, they had a little bit of a failure with their trailer.
Ooh.
Yeah, broke a spring or leaf spring.
Oh man,
you should have seen it, dude. He had chains all up to it and stuff. Like,
dang, that's not the first time anybody's ran into road problems though.
But they got home, from what I understand, so that's good. Safety first, man.
Sweet. So. Well, good on those guys. We also want to thank Solderweld. It sounds like you got some stuff happening with Solderweld at the Dunes, huh?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I'm gonna meet up with Vanessa, and I don't know what their plan is, but
that's gonna be pretty cool, man. Is that gonna be her first time out there?
I don't remember if she said it was her. I don't remember. I think it might have been her second, maybe.
Oh, cool. Well, either way, she's going to have a blast, man.
Yeah.
The Dunes are going to be so fun. I wish I could go with you, but this weekend I'm going to head out to we want to thank Rigid Industries, too. Those guys are badass. I'm going to head out. I'm going to actually meet up with Brett Carpenter at Lucas this weekend. It's at Wild Horse Pass in Chandler, Arizona. And that's going to be pretty fun, man, because I haven't been to the races, obviously, since April. And I think it's going to be pretty cool. And the Dirt Life's going to be out there covering some stuff. We're going to do like a pit pass kind of thing.
That's cool, man.
So maybe I'll get to wear one of those yellow media vests this time instead of my racing outfit.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens. I think it'll be pretty cool. So if any of you guys are still in town and you're not at the Dunes seeing Cody, come out and see me at Wild Horse Pass at the Lucas races. Should be pretty fun this weekend. I'm going to go out and help Brian Forrester and Tatum and the 170 kids and stuff like that. So that'll be pretty cool. What's going to be happening at the Dunes, man?
We're taking off. Our group is going to be there on Wednesday. We're going to take off Thursday, meet up with everybody. Supposed to be meeting up with Jake Coleman. That's the plan, anyway.
Jake Coleman of the Dirty Dooner Show?
The Dirty Dooner Show. He wants to hang out, maybe do something with him. Stop by, say hi to our sponsors, of course, Shock Therapy.
Yeah.
Go kind of just have a good time. I mean, my wife Carly and Janie, they're going to be at the Dooners Diner opening weekend. So they'll be going back and forth every day.
The Dooners Diner in Gordon's Well is always fun, man.
Oh, yeah, it's a blast.
Yeah.
It's such a blast.
How long does it usually take to get over there in a side-by-side from Glamis?
I would say a good, 40 minutes maybe.
Oh, that's not too bad.
It's not bad. If you're doing 50 miles an hour.
Do you have to go on can you dune it over there?
Yeah, you could dune it. We just take that flat all the way out and just haul ass.
Oh, cool. It's going to be fun, man. I remember last year, I think it was.
Yeah, it was last year.
Yeah, and Carly was working.
The Bloody Mary bar.
Dude, they had bacon for the Bloody Marys and everything.
Bacon,
that was so good.
Chicken and all kinds of stuff, man.
Man, that was so good.
Hell yeah.
So it's going to be pretty cool to see everybody out there again. I wonder if this year is going to be bigger than it was last year. When is it going to cap?
I don't know. I don't think it's going to cap, man.
Somebody said Nitro Circus was going to be there too.
Yeah,
so what's that all about?
I think they're just doing a show.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I'm guessing it's by where the stage and stuff is.
So what are they going to do? Jumps and stuff?
Yeah. From what I understand. I ain't going over there.
They moved their whole Nitro Circus around?
I guess, yeah.
Dude, that's going to be bananas. I wonder if that dude in the wheelchair is going to be over there. That guy's badass.
Wheels?
Have you seen him?
Like
he does flips and stuff?
Yeah, his name's Wheels, I think.
Dude, he does crazy stuff, man. That guy is so nuts. So, yeah, that'll be cool. I think it's going to be you guys are going to have a blast.
Yeah,
I mean, you've already been to the
I'm excited, man. Yeah, I've already had my quick sneak peek day trip.
Yeah, but that was probably just enough to get you greased.
Oh, man, it was good. I was happy.
Well, is Carly gonna have time to go on rides, or is she just gonna be working? The whole time?
I think nighttime. She's, you know how I like to go at night, so I think she'll just go with me unless she's so tired. Sometimes that happens too.
Do you drop her off in the morning in the car?
No, her and Janie, we're all staying together, and then Janie and her are just gonna travel back and forth all weekend in her car.
With the passenger car?
Yeah.
Oh, that's easy.
Yeah.
That makes it way better.
Yeah.
Then you don't have to hit all the bumps super early in the morning. Right on. Well, that's going to be super fun, man. And Dooner's Diner is always packed, too. So that's got to be – yeah. Last time we were there, we got some really good stuff. Good hamburgers.
Yeah. Good
French fries. Dude, that was so awesome. Yeah, so that's going to be super cool. And then at the Lucas races, I'm really going to have a good time. Like, I know I'm going to have a good time. Like I said, I'm going to take some equipment out there, and I'm going to see what kind of pit pass type stuff we can get. Maybe we can get some behind the scenes with some cool drivers. We'll talk to Miles Cheek. Maybe he'll make us some tacos or something. We're going to try to see how much we could get done as far as, like, behind the scenes stuff. But honestly, man, I'm just excited to get, like, out and do something.
I think it'll be good for you.
Yeah.
I think it'll be a good – you going back and just have that feeling. That's your home, man. You know what I mean? That's your home track. And
yeah, I think it'll be cool. I want to be like doing more, but I think I need to pace myself. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like go out there, just have a good time, help some people, and talk to everybody and see how everybody's doing. I think it'll be cool. I really do. I got to drop off the CRF 450L. Dude's gonna buy it and take it, pick it up. So it'll be pretty cool for him to get that bad boy. It's gonna live in California from now on.
You gonna take your Mini this weekend? Get you around so you're not walking?
I think we're gonna take the Unicorn.
Yeah, that's a good thing too.
So
that's cool.
Yeah, that'll be cool. My dad's gonna cruise out there too, so he'll be able to have a seat.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, so it'll be pretty cool. It'll be nice to get the Unicorn back in the dirt too.
I know that it just came up on my memories today that your pops took me out on the track.
Oh, really?
Yeah, when we were ripping around the track.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, which car did you go on the track in though? Was it a YXZ?
Yeah, it was the white one. It was your Stormtrooper.
Oh, that one, yeah. That's actually a super cool car still.
Oh, yeah.
The guy that has that, Mitch, he bent an axle the other day, so.
Dang, dude.
I know, right? He goes hard, though. He's a motocross guy. Well, we got the little mini Unicorn now, too. So my buddy Greg painted up a RC car body. It's pretty neat to see that. Now I got to match the big Unicorn with the Dirt Life on the side, like you said. Yep. So that'll be pretty cool. Yeah, so this weekend's going to be good for both of us, I think. And I got some pretty cool plans coming up, too, like probably in the next month or so. I've been riding my bicycle a little bit, trying to get more distance up, and I think I'm going to do the Tour de Tucson.
Really?
Yeah.
Because I've been following your videos and stuff around here, and there's some of them hills, man. Pistol Hill Road.
Yeah.
That's a hill, man.
The elevations aren't, like, too gnarly, like, as far as, like, the, because it gradually goes up, but when you get to, like, there's a place called Colossal Cave out here in Arizona, and, like, it's like vert, dude. Like, I went up, and I got halfway up that son of a bitch, and I was like, dude, there's no way. Like, I'm toast. Like, my legs are gone, my breath's gone, everything. Oh, yeah. So I did, like, this little, like, circle donut, and I was like, fuck it, I'm going for it, and I just killed it. When I got to the top, I was so proud of myself.
Crazy.
But, yeah, so it was fun. So I really like to put a goal in my mind to do something, and I think that's a good in my mind it's a small goal compared to racing and stuff, but it's still a big goal, it's still a big thing for me to accomplish. So
what's the mileage on Tour de Tucson?
There's 3 or 4 different ones that you could do, but I'm only gonna do 50 miles.
That's still crazy.
Yeah,
that's crazy, dude.
50 miles on a bicycle. I think for me, not having I don't know, my full health is going to be pretty cool.
I'll just get on my Mini with a backpack full of water, and I'll just
chase around.
That's it, dude.
Yeah.
Chase bike.
Perfect. You could even take your side-by-side. Since we live in Arizona, you could just cruise the side-by-side around. Yep. Well, I might hit you up on that, though, because it's November 23rd. I don't know if you're going to be in town, but my dad's going to be solo on that trip to help me out, so it would be kind of cool.
Yeah, it might be a good thing, man.
So, we'll see what happens, but I'm really excited. I'm really looking forward to it. I think it's a good goal to try to accomplish. And, shoot. I'm just going to kick my ass. So if I can accomplish that, maybe I can take a shot with you the next day.
Hey, that's a deal.
So that'll be pretty fun.
Tacos and tequila day, man.
Yeah, exactly. So like I was saying in my social media post and earlier, like necessity is the key to invention. And that's one of the things that I wanted to focus on, not just with Mario, but just like in general. So, a long time ago, side-by-sides were called the golf carts of the desert, whatever you call it. Mm-hmm. But it was a necessity, and these manufacturers invented them. and it ended up being a huge hit. And obviously, side-by-sides are amazing now. They have so much horsepower. They have such good handling. Like, they're crazy. I mean, think about the days when you had your first side-by-sides. Like, I don't even think the Yamaha Rhino was one of the first side-by-sides, was it? Was it kind of third or fourth?
I think it actually was. They started out with the golf carts, tricking out the golf carts.
Right.
And then they put the 1000 motors in the golf carts.
Right. Those R1 motors?
Yeah.
So that's so gnarly.
Yeah.
Like, can you imagine if they still had those things around? People would be killing themselves all over the place.
You still see them every once in a while. You still, they're still around.
Lance from Super Sick, I think, has a golf cart all lifted, doesn't he? Yeah. So, like I said, though, necessity is the key to invention, and it really, like, it did happen like that. I mean, it didn't just all of a sudden just.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's grown.
And it's cool to see that because really, like, the side-by-side market wouldn't be here had people not thought, okay, we need a vehicle to sit side-by-side. We need it somewhat affordable.
Yeah.
We don't just want to ride quads for the rest of our life. We don't want to just ride dirt bikes. And now it's come to this huge thing. I mean, like, half the guys that have $250,000 sand cars are ditching those just because side-by-sides are so easy.
Yep.
So, I mean, how many dudes do you know that have done that?
A lot. There's probably only a handful that keep their sand cars, and if I would have spent that much money back then, I'd probably still have it too.
Yeah, but you could sell a sand car and get 2 or 3 side-by-sides.
But they're not even pushing what they're worth anymore.
What do you mean, the sand cars?
Yeah.
Yeah, just kind of keep it in your garage because you can't.
It's just not even worth it just to be able to take it out and go rip on it for a couple hours and park it. I'd be happy with that.
You'd have to have a lot of spare cash, though, man. Those things are a pretty penny. Yeah. But some of those things are bitch. Dude, those buckshots, oh, my God, those things are cool. They got a buckshot with a truck or a truck body on it and stuff like that. Yeah. Holy crap, those things are cool. It'd be cool to talk to Jake Coleman next week more about that kind of stuff because he's super into those things. I know he knows a lot about those off-road cars.
Well, I think he just sold his sand car.
Yeah, his sand rail or whatever it was. Yeah. So it'd be cool to talk to him about that and see what he thinks compared to a side-by-side. Did he get a side-by-side then?
I'm guessing that's what he's going after.
Yeah. I know a ton of people that have switched them up, man. Mm-hmm. Tons of people. Half the people don't even take their sand cars out just because, they're always fixing them and stuff, and now they got the side-by-side just reliable and just go. Yeah. So it's pretty cool to see that transition. I really think it's – and like I said, necessity being the key to invention. I mean, we talked about it, last week or the week before? Like, the leg braces. Like, it's a necessity for me now to walk around, and I think I can make them better. I clearly didn't invent them, but I'm inventing a new way of doing it, and I think it's going to be much, much better, and I think it's going to help a lot of people. So I'm really stoked that people have those creative outlets and creative attitudes, like Mario, sometimes me, people that helped with the manufacturers helping develop those side-by-sides and stuff. It's just cool, man. It's really cool to see that kind of stuff. And we'll comment too. If you guys have ever come up with anything, like who invented Post-it notes? One of you guys did, right? So tell us what kind of necessities that you guys have seen for cool inventions or that you guys have thought about. I know a couple of people that I talked to in California said, dude, I was the one that thought about the little wipies for the shopping carts. Like, why don't I get paid for that? Well, because you didn't invent it.
Yeah.
So I'd like to see what other creative ideas people have too. So what time we got here? We got 6:20. Well, let's talk a little bit more about the dunes. I really want to see it. Like I said, if I can go to the dunes in about February or so. So how many rides do you think will be left, or trips do you think will be left around that time?
Well, I mean, pretty much New Year's it's always the holiday weekends are always the biggest.
Right, but I don't remember what holiday. I know Tucson, Arizona has what's rodeo weekend, but that's
February.
But that's not a break that everybody takes.
No, it's just Tucson.
But
there is a group that goes out there though.
What trips are in January and February then?
That's it. A DDR's in February that I remember, and then
what's DDR?
Darren's Dune Run. I guess a Tucson local that used to go out a lot and fought cancer. As I remember.
Wow, really?
Yeah, and then ended up passing away. And I learned a little bit while I was out there. And, everybody comes together, and there's a lot of cool things that they do for this event, and it's gotten really big.
Wow, that's cool. When's that? In February?
I want to say they just came out with the actual the listing of what they do. They do a poker.
It's called
run.
Darren's Dune Run.
Darren's Dune Run.
Okay,
DDR.
I'll have to look it up.
Yeah, they do that, and then they do a big poker run, which that was a blast last year.
Those poker runs in the dunes are so fun.
It's fun. And all the guys that run DDR go to their certain spots, and then they give you buy a card, and then it's like in an envelope, and you can't see your hand. So you just go to the people for them to click out the hole, and then cards are due at a certain time, and it was like noon or whatever. You get back to camp, then they check it.
You look at your hand at camp, or they look at your hand?
Badass, dude.
Yeah, see, those are so fun, man.
These guys are just sitting out in the middle of the dunes.
Yeah,
and
but
you have to find them.
I know we've done them before.
Man, it's so cool.
They were super cool too. We did one with One Industries back in the day. One Industries,
really?
the motorcycle company, dirt bike company. They make dirt bike graphics and stuff, and it was super fun. Like it took a good portion of the day to get it done. Like I don't know, probably from 11 to like 4.
This was a couple hours. Yeah, it was just kind of like, and there was a grip, dude. A lot of people.
That's cool.
It was cool, and it's a Tucson thing. So who you're
Did you guys have
around?
groups of people following each other?
Yeah,
okay.
Just trying to get there.
There was a few times when we'd see people pass and we'd be like, oh shit, we're going the wrong way.
They could start turning. We got turned around a few times. I was like, damn it.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened. Dude, we should do one of those, plan one of them, the Dirt Life Show poker run. That'd be super cool. That would be so much fun, man. Dirt like we talked about with Solderweld, we could have a whole trip out of it. That'd be so cool, man. Especially with how much fun it is to like find that stuff. You have to have a navigator too, or a co-driver.
Well, yeah, I mean, but we can make it pretty good to where like go to the Lookout and then go to Olds and then go to the, there's destination rides in Glamis now.
That's the way we did it, half and half when we did ours. Like in the middle of it, like the third or fourth card was like at the hill, but the other ones were in the middle of the dunes.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah. So you would have to stop in the middle of the dunes, find it, and then like half the people, like we got lost. So when we finally made it to the hill, everybody's already gone.
Oh yeah.
So we were like way gone. But when we got back to camp, we had I think this first or second best hand.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. So
I wasn't even close, man. It was just fun, man. It was just a good time. And then they do an auction too.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Oh, what do they auction off?
All kinds of stuff, dude.
Really?
I think I saw a blanket. Like somebody made this blanket. It was like a quilt, and it went for like $3,500.
No shit.
Yep, and you could give it back,
dude. That is super cool.
And they raise all this kind of money
for cancer research.
Yeah, everything.
Dude, how bitchin' is that?
And Desert RV is a huge part of it.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, so. Yeah, clearly Jeff Rose and those guys obviously care about it. Well, that's cool, man. I'll definitely have to talk to you guys more about it and see what the deal is.
Yeah,
so.
we might end up going rodeo still. I didn't really think about it too much because we're going so many times.
Yeah.
So
You're
we'll
not
see.
that far out, yeah.
We'll see how it all goes. So
I just want to give myself something to look forward to after these next few weekends, and then I think that'd be a cool deal. So we're gonna go on a side-by-side ride out in this. It's called Reddington Pass and A7 Ranch ride on November 9th. So I think that's going to be super fun. We got 5 or 10 people already going out there. So that'll be my first test run. We'll see how my eyes do. So, and I got a few more doctor recommendations from one of our guests, Mike Young, that helps with road recovery, to see if they can help see if they can get my eyes better. So that'll be good. I would love to get my eyes better so I could ride better.
Yeah.
Kick some more ass in the side-by-side.
Shit.
Go out to the dunes.
Brian Myers. Love the show, guys.
Oh, yeah. So he went until the last weekend of March, man. That's crazy. That's pretty late.
Yeah.
I mean, feel like it'd be hot, though, wouldn't it?
Well, as of the weather right now, every year at Camp Razor the last couple of years have been 90 to 100 degrees.
Well, it sounds like this year's going to be cooler.
80 degrees, 85.
Woo-wee,
I could do
that's going to be perfect.
I could do that.
Especially with your polar bear.
Don't worry about them Uggs, dude.
Ugg boots.
Those are nighttime funsies.
Right on. Well, dude, I can't wait to start just getting out more. Like, period. Trail riding, dune riding, everything. Like, I clearly want to go to the dunes. I think you guys are going to have a fantastic time, but I think for me personally, I think Camp Razor might be a little too much. Just because it's so
you
popular.
might be right. You should just go out to Gordon's with us, man.
Yeah, I think that would be probably a lot better bet.
Calmer, relax, just kind of cruise.
On one of the off weekends or something. Let's see how I do in the next few weeks here and see if I can actually do it.
Well, that's where DDR's at.
Oh, okay.
Gordon's.
Cool.
Yeah.
And when is it, did you say?
February.
Okay. Well, maybe I could – yeah, I'll see. I'll check and see what the deal is. I also need a trailer to stay in. Maybe I got to talk to Jeff Rose.
Hey, never know.
Get a rental and cruise down there. All right. Well, let's thank our sponsors real quick, and then we'll come back with Mario Bonfante.
For wheels and tires with the most style, function, and innovation, look no further than Fuel Off-Road. From stock to lifted, dually to trophy truck, and UTV applications, Fuel Off-Road offers the most complete lineup for your next adventure. Whether a weekend warrior or racer, you can't go wrong with Fuel's massive line of trail tough truck and UTV wheels and tires. Good looks, better prices, and the absolute best range of styles and applications. Find us at fueloffroad.com.
Introducing Rigid's new SRL Series light bar, featuring a sleek 20-inch curved housing, ultra-wide forward projecting beam pattern, and a unique halo backlight feature offered in 4 color options. The SRL Series light bar's new optic combination projects light over 70 degrees wide, with more than enough distance to safely drive in low visibility conditions, making it the perfect lighting solution for most applications. The Halo backlight feature is offered in red, white, blue, or amber, and is wired independently from the forward projecting light. Instantly transition from style to function with the flip of a switch, making it easier than ever to own the night.
Hello, I'm Justin, the founder of Shock Therapy. Shock Therapy has been around for 5 years, but we have personally been tuning suspension on off-road cars and race vehicles for over 25 years. We tune between 10 and 15 cars per day, every single day of the week. Our concentration is tuning shock systems and supplying components that improve the ride quality of your car in many ways. Not only do we work on the average UTV, but we also tune suspension for race teams and professional drivers. We currently tune for over 87 race teams in Best in Desert and Score. Our clients and race teams rely on our suspension components to allow them to win races and keep them safe. Suspension is a moving target. We are always trying to hit that target with every customer that we work with. Each customer's needs can be different, and we tune our kits accordingly. Our research and development never stops. We improve our components every single day. As the industry evolves and improves, so do our parts and kits. As of right now, we have over 100 products for UTVs. So when you bring your car to us, you have the satisfaction of knowing that you have the most experience, the highest quality products, and the fact that your car is being tuned specifically to you.
Hey guys, George Hamill here to talk to you about one of our sponsors, Solder Weld. Who is Solder Weld, and what is their impact on the off-road community? Well, some of you may have seen Solder Weld's booths at the races, Mint 400, Vegas to Reno, Score and Snore events, and the UTV World Championship. You're seeing their stickers and sponsor wraps on more and more racers' vehicles every year. But who are they, and what do they have to offer us as off-road enthusiasts? Well, late last year, Solder Weld introduced their new off-road repair kit to the off-road industry and sold out their first week. The interest was overwhelming, as many off-roaders already knew of Solder Weld's aluminum radiator repair rods, and now they were included in a convenient carry kit in camo or black. If you're a racer of any type or off-road enthusiast like myself, you're going to want to take a close look at this product. Solder Weld has combined some of their most elite products into one small kit that fits perfectly under your seat or strapped into your roll cage and allows you to make some insane fixes anywhere you go. How many of us have been in a race or out on the trail and got a rock chip in a radiator or a brake line? We've literally seen a top-tier desert race truck at the 2019 Mint 400 taken out by a simple rock to the radiator. If they would have had an off-road repair kit on board, they could have been back up and running in just a minute. The kit includes everything you need to work on dirty aluminum, stainless steel, copper, and many other metals. Solderweld's cutting-edge technology allows you to make these fixes with extremely low heat and incredible high tensile strength, leaving you with a lasting fix every time. Don't be that guy who broke down on the side of the trail. Get your off-road repair kit today. Your friends will thank you. Well, we are back, everybody. We got some technical difficulties with Mario's phone, so we'll give it a second here, and we'll give him a buzz. Yeah, so getting back to the dunes, man, I think it would be really, really cool to have our own like little dune event.
I think we should do that.
I think
really
it'd be pretty
do.
fun.
I think we do like a 3-day thing, kind of hang out with everybody, get our sponsors out there, and just kind of hang out.
Yeah.
You know? They'll get a chance to meet them, hang out.
I think it would be really cool.
Yeah.
I'm going to give Mario a call real quick.
Yeah. All right, let's get in some of these comments. Let's see. Brian Myers, it was beautiful yesterday. I've been seeing a lot of posts on it, man. I can't wait to get there. I got a couple other people that head out. They were heading out last night. Man, it's one of my favorite things in life to do is hit up the sand dunes. So, and then Brian Meyer, let's see, 11 this Saturday at Olds. What's going on over there at Brian Myers? Let's see what's going on. What you have planned is just a meetup at Olds. Go ahead and post it up, man, and I'll get people out. I know we have YXZAZ. They're having a meetup too. I believe that's at 10 o'clock. So there's going to be all kinds of funsies out there. So enjoy it. Let's have a good, safe weekend. That's number one is safety, guys. Just make sure you got your flags, all your whips, everything that you need out there, helmets, wear the goggles. There's a lot of things you guys should be thinking about when you're out there. I mean, everyone's out there to have a good time. I know I am, a couple sips here and there, having to hang out with your buddies and family, and that's what it's all about, guys. I just want everyone to be safe out there. I hate seeing it. So let's do it. What do we got going on?
Not quite yet.
All right. Yeah, we're having technical difficulties again. It's always after 6 over here, but we'll keep it moving. So, guys, we'll be out. I'll be out at Wash 6. I'll have a little sign hanging out there. If you see it, come by, hang out. We'll be with the Dune crew, 520 side by side. Come on out, hang out. I'll be in Vendors for a little bit. I think a little later than Friday, and then a little bit of Saturday. And then Nitro Circus, that'll be out there at Glamis. Dave with AXA, gotta go check him out. Especially if you got family out there that all of a sudden just want to go rent a car or take it out for the day. So, and then make sure you guys clean up after yourselves, cleaner than when you got there. That's huge. That's very important. Keep the dunes clean, because if not, they'll shut them down. That would be terrible. So, let's see. Brian Myers. All right. 3 o'clock Friday, Boardmanville party. That sounds like a pretty good time.
We'll give Mario a couple minutes here. He said he's got some iPhone technical difficulties. So,
Alfonso Jimenez, it's going to be a good weekend. It's going to be too hot for your Uggs. I don't know, man. I think nighttime's going to be
crucial with the Uggs.
I don't know. Last year, I didn't have them. Camp Raisboro, we were talking in the hundreds last year.
Yeah.
Veterans weekend, around like 11 o'clock at night, it was cool. It was cool enough for him, but
I don't know, man. I still like just rocking the campfire with like just putting your feet by the campfire. Last year, Brian Lopez was putting the ashes underneath or the coals underneath the chairs.
Oh, yeah,
ooh, man, that was nice. Keep us nice and toasty.
Yeah, dude.
You guys are going to have a blast, man.
I can't wait. I love it. I love the dunes. I love the feeling of just getting there.
Yeah, like right when you show up.
Oh, man, I love it. I love getting out, going, all right, cool.
I can't unload fast enough. Every time I get there, I'm like, God, I wish my car was already out.
Dude,
Let's
you
go.
don't even drive your car out. You just push it. I watched you do last time. Just whoop, push it, just kept going, dude.
Yeah. Well, that's the way you do it.
Shit, I get in it and drive it.
And then
I
cruise
just want
around.
to just cruise around real quick, man.
That one time I had the Hoosiers on, it just flew out.
Oh, I staying on top of the sand.
Dude, you got to get a pair of those and like try it in the
I
sand.
think it'd be fun.
It was
Just
pretty
rip
cool.
around.
Yeah, it was pretty neat. Like, because it just slides everywhere. So it's pretty cool to have those things. So you guys are staying at Wash 6.
Yep.
Excuse me, Wash 6. Where's everybody else going to stay?
There's a group going out to 10, 12, and then another group going out to the pads.
Yeah, I'd rather go to the
area.
pads, yeah.
Yeah, it's cool. Oh, here we go. Mr. Mario. We'll get him switched up over here on the big screen behind us. What's the go-to desert diner besides tacos? Chili dogs. Gotta have them chili dogs, man. Cheap night, easy.
All
Got
right,
it?
you got everything all dialed in, bud?
I believe so.
What's up, Mario?
How you guys doing?
Yeah, dude.
Good, man. Mario, this is my co-host, Cody Sanders.
What's up, man? Good to meet you.
Can you guys see me? Hear me?
Yeah, we can see you nice and clear. Can you see us as well?
Right on. Yeah.
Okay, cool, man. Well, thank you very much for taking the time to come on the show with us tonight, dude. We're stoked to have you on, dude.
Yeah.
You're an all-around badass that I look up to, so I'm pumped to be able to talk to you.
I appreciate that, brother. Likewise.
So what's been going on lately, man? I want to get into your story, but I want to hear like what you've been doing the last few months here.
Just been trying to make dreams come true. You know how it goes.
Yeah. What kind of dreams?
Just going fast, having fun, just making things happen for everybody for the most part.
That's cool, man. You've done a lot of cool stuff in your life so far. If you don't mind giving some of our listeners a little bit of a background on your story, like how old you are, where you live, things that you've gone through in your life. We gave them a little update earlier.
Yeah, not at all. Let me see here. I mean, it's a pretty broad perspective, to be honest. Well,
you grew up racing dirt bikes, right?
What's that?
You grew up on dirt bikes and bicycles, right?
Yeah, so I started racing bicycles as a kid. I wanted to race motocross ever since I could remember. And my parents couldn't afford it. My parents had me really young. They're about 17, 16 years old. So it was kind of out of the question. But I mean, my ambitions were always bigger than my wallet could afford. So, or my parents' wallet could afford.
That's like half the dudes that race dirt bikes, man. Everybody's scrounging, remortgaging the house, the whole deal.
You know how it goes, exactly. So I started with BMX, and then did pretty well with that. I won a couple of state championships and national championships, and then my bike actually got stolen, and I thought my dad was playing a joke on me, and came home one day, and I was like, "Yo, where's my bike at, Pops?" And he's like, I gave him a call. He was at work. And he's like, "You better be in the garage, otherwise you're in trouble when I get home."
Oh, shit.
And I'm like, "Well, okay." I thought it was a joke. I thought he was messing with me. I thought he took my bike to sell it, kind of basically put down payment on like a motorcycle kind of thing. And that wasn't the story. So he got home and he was pretty pissed. And
it legit got stolen?
It was legit stolen. Yeah, it was. I just got back from a Big Bear National. Won all the net titles there, and yeah, it was a big bummer.
Damn, that does suck.
I've been there. I've had that feeling.
Well, not only that, but like it's his prized possession. Like that's what he does. That's how he makes his dreams come true. Is living the whole deal.
Exactly. Yeah. So from there, just kind of took a temporary break from racing, I guess you'd say. Did some. I mean, I've done pretty much every extreme sport possible with wheels, for skating and. Rollerblading, motorcycles, bicycles, scooters, whatever you can think of, and then eventually my parents got enough money to afford to buy me a motorcycle in '98, and started training on that thing. And
a dirt bike.
Eventually progressed. What's that?
A dirt bike.
A dirt bike, yes, sir.
Sweet.
So I was super stoked on that, and at the time I was playing football, kind of trying to figure out which direction I was going to go as far as like profession. And I mean, when I do something, I'm not really halfway in. I'm either 110% in or not in at all. So whether I'm playing football or playing golf or riding a motorcycle, it didn't really matter. I was 110% in. But around 7th grade or so, racing started getting a little bit more serious, and my parents gave me the option to whether pursue racing a little bit more in depth or to actually start playing football more seriously, I guess, for high school and whatnot.
Yeah, a lot of parents do that kind of stuff because they you can't afford to do both, or
Right.
it's too time consuming to do both. So a lot of parents have to give the kid the option to do that. Yeah, and I've watched so many of your videos, man. And when you say you give it 100%, you're not shitting, man. You're really giving it 100%. Like you do a lot of cool stuff, dude. That's for sure. I showed Cody that video that you messaged me over, man. He was like, "Dude, that is so sick."
That's legit, dude.
No, I appreciate that, brother. It's just I don't really know any different, man. It's just I'm all in or nothing at all. So it's just I'm lucky to still be alive, to be honest.
Yeah.
So,
you and me both, and a lot of the people that we know and that we deal with. And you talk to a lot of people. I'm sure people message you all the time with telling you that you're an inspiration and all this other stuff. And it's kind of crazy when we think about it from in your own shoes. You probably think a lot of the same thing as me, and it's just like, no, I'm just this dude that likes to have fun and do stuff.
yeah, no, it's very interesting. I mean, it's something I don't think about much, just because I mean, I live in the moment. Everything happens for a reason, for the most part, in my opinion. So I'm living my destiny for whatever it may be, whatever fate God has for me. I'm just kind of living it out. But yeah, no, there's definitely a lot of people that I've come across that have had a little bit more trouble dealing with the fact of the situation that we're given, which is not an easy one.
Yeah, exactly.
And
Well, you learned a lot. Like, we call our show The Dirt Life. And you obviously grew up in the dirt, doing bicycle stuff and well, sometimes they have pavement and stuff, but doing motocross and things like that. So how far did you get in your motocross, we'll call it career?
I'm trying to give you guys I'm looking at your guys' video, and I'm trying to find how to get out of the light here. Sorry.
The best way is to block the light with your head.
I'm trying to. My head doesn't work very well sometimes. But I got to the intermediate stage, and at that point, I was just I was committed. I wanted to be a supercross racer. That was my dream, my desire. I wanted to win actual motocross, supercross titles and all that. I wanted to be world champion and everything else that goes along with it, with that whole branch of motorsports. And yeah, I got to the intermediate phase. I just got Mammoth, and I was working for my dad at the same time when I was doing that. And his office was about 30 minutes to an hour away, depending on traffic. So I don't want to be paying for traffic or paying for gas and insurance and everything else on the way to get to work. So I was paying my way to race for the most part, but
yeah, like a lot of people do, though.
it wasn't really. Yeah, exactly. So my parents wanted to see I was invested as they were. So as long as I was giving them half my paycheck, they were cool with it. But sorry, am I screwing your guys' light up like this situation right here? 'Cause my camera looks good, but your camera looks terrible.
Yeah, it's like got a bad connection or something. So your connection was a little bit better in the light when you were turned around, but the light is usually the light shining from the back or from your roof is shining straight into the camera. That's why it's getting all fuzzy.
All right, let me try this. This is better right here.
Yeah, that looks much better. Yeah, and it's a lot better connection too. So yeah, stay there, dude.
All right, cool.
Don't move. Yeah, well, that's cool, man. Like I said before, like you growing up in the dirt and the mindset that you have now. Like we'll get into it a little bit more, but you're a really strong personality within. I mean, I'm not saying that you're egotistical or anything like that, but you have some really lofty goals. You like to accomplish things. You really are focused on the things that you think about and you work on. And just like you said, you were working a job and you were still trying to race. You were coming up with a paycheck. Your parents were coming up with a paycheck, and you guys were putting so much effort into it. It really tunes you up and teaches you a lot about the rest of your life.
100%. No, it definitely does, and it definitely. I mean, I had to sit down with my parents and I sit down with my sponsors. Well, I mean, for one, I sit down with my parents, but before I even had to sit down with my sponsors, and everything got serious. But when things got serious, my parents brought me into their room. I remember very vividly where it was. They brought me in, and they're about to go to bed, and blah blah blah. And they're like, "All right, well, you got people paying for you to do what you want to do. You got people really looking at you now as far as the future goes and what you want to do and your goals go. You got to stop screwing around. You got to stop messing around and like actually focus on this dream and this goal and this potential that you have." And
how old were you at the time
so
when you had that conversation with them?
I just turned 15.
Yeah, so that's a pretty young time to have that type of conversation. I mean, like, shit gets serious when you're that young, but that tells a lot about the level that he was at and how good he was at what he was doing.
Yeah, 15 years old, man. That's a serious call. I mean, most 15-year-olds are either playing soccer, football,
jumping
baseball.
in the pool, having fun.
That's what they're doing.
Yeah,
so that's
and he's out there kicking ass, taking names.
Mm-hmm.
I was doing my best, man. I mean, it was just like, and that was one of the biggest questions that everybody asked me when I made the decision to do independent studies, to work full time, to commit myself 100% to the goal that I had in mind and the dream that I had as far as a far sight, as whatever. And everyone's like, well, what about girls? What about parties? What about all these different events that you have at school? You're not going to be missing out. You're not going to be missing out on dances and this and that. And I'm just like, dude, there's plenty of girls at the racetrack. I have a lot of friends with sisters. It's like, I don't want to be partying with girls at the high school. I want to be partying like with the Monster girls. I want to party with the Red Bull girls on top of the podium. When I
got way cooler shit to do than go to school. Yeah, but
so it was like it wasn't a hard decision, to be honest. It was like it was a dream come true, and to have people believe in me was an even bigger dream. Like it was.
I'm sure your parents still made sure that you kept your responsibilities up to date, though.
Yes and no. I mean, they would rather me become an engineer than become a race car driver. So it's a little bit safer than just trying to go do this unpredictable career that people proclaim they want to become.
Well, hey,
children.
You know what they say? And clearly I was in the race world field too, or whatever you call it. The way to be a millionaire in any type of racing is to start with $2 million. Because no matter what, you're going to have to spend a shitload of money. So
that's what they say, right? How do you want to make a fortune in racing? You start with the big one, or a small fortune in racing. You start with the big one.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know that your parents were wrong when they say that they'd rather have you be an engineer.
Yeah, I mean, for them, the money's not the thing. For me, that's one thing they've instilled in me since I was a kid. The money it's definitely useful and beneficial as far as getting what you want done, but it's not what life is about. I mean, my parents are divorced, so I've seen two sides of life, luckily. But yeah, they've definitely instilled my parents that actually helped me with the racing side of things are very blue collar, very hardworking individuals. And then I have my dad's side of the family where they had the money to help me, but the money wasn't for racing at all. And they didn't want anything to do with it. Never came and saw a race whatsoever in my entire life. So it's controversial in my opinion, and I find it a blessing because I see both sides of it. I know what I want as far as my passion goes. I know why I have the passion to do what I want to do. I know what I enjoy. I know what brings people joy. I know what brings families together, and I know what the world has to offer as far as partying or having fun in a subliminal way.
Yeah.
where your mind thinks it's having a good time.
It's like
but
true
it's
happiness
not really.
compared to fake happiness.
Exactly. That's exactly it.
Yeah.
And so I was truly happy spending time with my family on the weekend at the races, chasing my dreams and my goals, and having those people behind me and believe in me. And having that was a priceless experience. So to have them kind of go the opposite direction when I got injured was pretty interesting. So like my stepdad took it the hardest, to be honest, as far
Yeah.
as my injury goes. And he's like my best friend. He was my mechanic. He was my engineer, my everything, my best friend, all that. He like I said, my parents died at a very young age, so I have a lot of older friends that are my parents' friends that are professional athletes now, and are basically my mentors, essentially. Like my dad was my mentor, or whatever, and they've done a very good job of doing what they want to do with their lives as far as chasing their passion. And
Do you think that has a
so I
lot to
had those
do
people
with
in
the
my
way
life.
that the way that they handled your injury was because of how they were brought up to and the things that they've seen, and like how they reacted to it, I guess you could say?
I don't. I think the injury, the effect of the injury on me was maybe modified in a certain way
Oh.
because of certain influences I had and certain things that I accepted before my injury and the way that I live my life. But after the injury, it was a pretty solo mission. It was like I woke up and the first words out of my mouth to my dad was to have the bikes ready for Daytona, because that's what I was getting ready for, was Daytona, and to go. I wasn't going to compete. I wasn't going to take top 10. I wasn't going to take top 5. I was competing to win.
Yeah.
Like the times that I was testing for, the times that I was training for and practicing for and working towards were to take the pole, not or even top 3. But so I'm grateful that didn't come to fruition, but I'm also disappointed at the same time because I never got to see what my full potential could have been with proper support, proper engineering, proper mechanics, the proper team behind me to actually accommodate those goals and those dreams and those aspirations
Yeah,
with proper
exactly.
training and proper application.
Well,
So
there's a lot of, I mean, and you know a bunch of the same people too. There's a lot of guys that have fallen short, so to speak, just like myself, Aaron Baker, like a bunch of the dudes that we know that have gotten hurt. And it's definitely difficult to realize the next step because you feel like you've gotten something that was like, my motto has always been never give up.
Right.
Well, it feels like I did give up on that. You know what I mean? Because it was cut short, so to speak, just like Mario and these other guys. Let's backtrack a little bit though and talk about before you got hurt. You were at a really high level in bicycle riding and motocross and all that stuff when you got hurt, right? And then what happened?
I mean, I'm pretty terrible at talking about myself, to be honest.
Well, we want to hear your story, man. So just let's hear it.
I was at a pretty decent level. I got my pro license when I turned 16 for road racing.
Wow.
Yeah, and road racing. When he says road racing, he means like ninjas and crotch rockets and stuff. Yeah. So MotoGP kind of stuff.
Yeah. Street bikes, crotch rockets, all the nifty nicknames for them.
Yeah.
So I accidentally got onto one of those and happened to be better at that than I was at motocross. And doors started flying open, and I just started cruising through them, and people started helping me out, and it was just a different scenario as far as racing goes, and it was totally different. So
everything's different in that form of racing. Even the attitudes and things are different because we deal with a lot of those same people. Like Graves Motorsports does a lot of modifications for the Yamaha YXZ and for now that new Cowie KRX, and they did a ton of stuff for the street bike the teams and things like that too. Before you continue, Mario, we got a guy named Brandon Land that just said, "What's up?" It's nice to see another guy out there that's living his dreams and still dealing with his injury. Brandon got hurt. I think it was a year or two ago, and he got paralyzed as well. So he he's definitely trying to find his way too, and he's an awesome dude, and we think we're going to be able to try to go on some side-by-side rides with him when he gets a side-by-side too. He's got an awesome family and awesome wife and stuff, so it's cool to see dudes like that checking you out and getting inspiration from you, bud.
That's rad, brother. I appreciate that, Non. And tell Brandon if he needs any help, man, let me know, and I'm happy to do that. That's kind of, I'm in a chair for a reason. I know that for a fact, and this happens to be one of them, to be able to figure out how to help other people do the same thing and have a good time and go chase their dreams and chase checkers still. So,
well, now's a good time to just tell everybody how to get a hold of you, too. You got Mario Bonfante _37. Is that what it is?
That's pretty much my calling for all social media. I'm doing my best to be up on top of social media, but I'm terrible at it. I'll be honest. So that's my name. It's Mario Bonfante, and then _37 is my number, and it's easiest. That's the easiest way to find me on either Facebook or Instagram, or I'm not really sure how Twitter works, but
I think I'm trying
to figure it out.
I don't know many people use Twitter either. And some of the cool places that people can see stuff on you is definitely on YouTube. Like you've got some really cool YouTube videos out there. As well. So just, look up Mario Bonfante on YouTube as well and check him out. So you can check him out, Brandon. He's a good dude. Go back to, you did make it pretty far in your road racing too, right?
I mean, I can't complain. I did something that most people haven't done in their entire, that I've heard of in their career. I got because back in the day, when racing was a little bit different and not more money driven than it is now, and there's actually still contingency sponsors and actual corporations in the industry, and you got paid as a grassroots driver or grassroots rider or whatever it may be.
Yep.
I made quite a bit of money just as a grassroots rider, and I got some good attention, and then I got my pro card within a year, which was, they had to actually sit me down, pull me in mid-season for my first year road racing and say, all right, you can either go pro right now because I had enough points at the time to either continue as a rookie and get rookie of the year, or I can get my white plate and go pro and start getting my pro license towards AMA. And I didn't want to stay in AFM or WIRA or any of the local stuff. I wanted to go MotoGP. I wanted to go worldwide. I wanted to take out Rossi. Honestly, that was my goal. I wanted to be with Mark Marquez. I wanted to be the guy to take him down. But
that's bitching,
but with
dude.
all respect given, but he was my target, and so I was like, I don't care about the titles. The titles don't matter to me at all. I can care less about being the fastest guy in the world or being the world champion or being rookie of the year, all that stuff. I just want to see how far I can take my personal ability and go from there. And with the best technology and the best information, the best technicians, the best engineers, and everyone else given, then I have no excuse but myself to actually decipher that one way or the other.
Yeah, and most of that comes from your attitude, though, because you wouldn't have those big supporting, that big supporting program and those sponsors and the team that's around you without the attitude and the wherewithal and the goals and the mindset that you had, because people see that and they definitely are drawn to it, and obviously they saw potential.
Yeah, luckily they did. Luckily, I'm taken for two parts. I'm either looked at as very arrogant and very cocky, or very gifted and very talented. Or I was, not anymore. Not so much anymore. I got to talk a little bit more than I did back in the time. And back in the day, I was always taught that actions speak louder than words.
Oh, 100%.
So I never really talked much. I just told you to give me my helmet. And I'll give me a piece of equipment, and I'll go take it out, and I'll take it to its limit. And if I don't take it to its limit, I'll probably go beyond it, and I will probably end up off the track. Nice. But it's just.
But that's how your personality is, and that's what's driven you to be such an amazing person these days as well.
No, and I really appreciate that for sure. But it's also been a hindrance to some extent.
Yeah, because it's a curse because you have such high expectations for yourself. I had the same thing happen every day. I'm like, what can I do better today? And then you don't do something good today, or you have a shitty day, and it's like, fuck, man, you get hard on yourself. It does suck. But, you got to remember, dude, you got to give yourself a pat on the back for all the badass shit you're doing.
No, and I do. And I do my best to, keep reminding myself that, because it is also a mental battle, but it's also an industry battle where it's like I didn't have to tell people how good I was. Like I can call a sponsor all day. I can call Monster. I can call Red Bull. I can call freaking Fox. Like I can call anybody and say, "Hey, I'm the best driver in the world. You want to represent me? I want to represent you." Da, 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 da. But it doesn't sound as good as if it's coming from you, and it does if it's coming from me. So
Yeah, 100%.
back in the day, I didn't have to say any of that stuff. It was like, "Hey, I want to ride for your company. Give me a helmet. I'll show you what I can do. And if you think we want to work together, if you think we can do something together, let's make it happen." So now it's like trying to figure out how to put that into literal words and sell it as a product, which you have to do as a sponsor or partner or whatever it may be, which is part of the industry, which I understand. But I didn't understand that part of the industry until I got hurt, because when I got hurt, it was like, okay, well, you can no longer represent our company at the level we want you to, so we have nothing to do with you anymore. Like, best of luck to you, but it's just that was the bottom line.
But
so
you're not alone in that. Like,
it.
you have to rebrand yourself. You really do. And the sucky part about it is that and I've gotten some heat for the same thing too. Is I guess what you want to call it, like self-promotion or something. Like, everybody does it these days. I mean, it's model life on Instagram. I mean, it's bullshit, but everybody does it.
Right.
And like Mario said, it's better to promote from the outside in than it is from the inside out. But when you have a situation happen like what's happened to him or happened to me or any of these other people who get injured, even if it's a dude that breaks his leg, like Dean Wilson just got hurt, he hurt his hip at the Monster Energy Cup. Well, now he's in a hospital bed. Now he has the same problem that Mario and myself had. He can't fulfill those same goals and sponsorship obligations that he once could a week ago. And so now he's got to do all of the self-promotion and all of the glorification that he's not going to have to be able to keep that status, to be able to move forward and make sure that he gives himself the best opportunity in the future. So it is, like you said, it's give and take, dude. But you got to remember, no matter what, at the end of the day, when you go to bed, you got to be proud of the stuff that you've done.
No, and that's it. And that's where it's just like, it comes into play where it's, like I said, I had to learn how to talk as opposed to actually act.
Yep.
And now I'm talking my way into certain situations, or I've found that I've gotten further going to actual location, like say Oakley, for instance, and go to the front desk and ask for the marketing director, or go to an event and ask for the marketing director, or do whatever I need to do to actually go face to face, because it's harder for people to say no face to face as opposed to calling or emailing back and forth.
Yep.
And it doesn't get you as far. And
they can't see you. They can't
see your true character.
And they can just feel the drive.
Yeah. You can represent their it's a different feeling. It's a different understanding on both levels, I think. And
100%.
Respect. So I think that's my biggest advice that I can give to anyone that's looking for sponsorship or looking for partnership or looking for a way into the industry, is just show up. Is because everyone is constantly asking. I guarantee you, like, you've got 5 helmets that I could put on the shelf, but I don't know who's on those helmets, and I don't know who else is watching this show that's looking for sponsors, looking for partners, looking for a way into the industry that has no money to do it, but wants to know how to do it.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
The best thing that I can advise is just show up, because people don't vibe with words and text on an email, and people can only get so far through phone conversations because everyone's so transparent.
Yep.
So if you show up and you have a physical meeting, then it's a different story. And it shows a different commitment, a different level of commitment.
And you also have to be a special type of person when you show up, though, too, because you can get the geek off the street just showing up asking for free shit, but that's not what you're doing. We actually had an episode last week with Josh Weesey of the Sponsored Rider Club podcast, and he was giving us some advice on, being genuine and content is king and different things in sponsorship and marketing that really do help. And some of the stuff that you're talking about right now aligns perfectly with that, because you're talking about going to these events where these special people are. You're talking about being genuine, and your genuine is a lot different than a lot of other people's genuine. And being able to see you and to feel the vibes coming from you makes a big difference. And just like you said, compared to an email or compared to some, well, you'll call a geek off the street just trying to get free shit, So I give you mad props for going out and doing that, dude. And thank you for giving our guests a lot of advice too. That's super cool.
Oh man, I mean, it is what it is, man. If you want it bad enough, you're gonna figure out how to way to get it. So it's just everyone asks me like how I do what I do and blah blah blah, and like how do I afford to go this place and that place, and it's like, well, I prioritize. I don't have all the money in the world. I'm not a rich man. I'm not a wealthy man by far, but I don't go out on the weekends. I don't drive where I don't need to drive to. I don't waste money on gas. But when I know that I need X amount of dollars to go to an event, to see this person, to have this specific meeting, then I'm going to prioritize my life around that for that month and budget my way to get there, to have that meeting and have that discussion and see where it takes me. If it doesn't take me anywhere, then okay. But one way or another, I made a new connection. I made a new friend. I made a new network. And if he knows somebody that can help me, then that's great. If he doesn't, then either way, we made a connection. We talked, and I know that guy for a further event. So it's just like, it's a matter of sacrificing to succeed is what I've found. And I've sacrificed my entire life, which was why I wasn't done with racing when I woke up, when I got injured.
Right.
So when I got injured, it was just like, I didn't accept it. I was 17 years old. I had given up pretty much, I wouldn't say I gave it up, because I've been blessed. I've lived more in 17 years than most people have in their entire lives. But I didn't go to high school parties. I didn't get drunk on the weekends. I didn't go do any type of drugs. I was completely just, I didn't experience any part of my life as a kid.
Yep.
That you're technically supposed to experience as far as like television goes or whatever, or life goes, or reality, whatever the hell it is. But I just wanted to go and live my dream, which was see how far I could take my personal ability, which I knew was much further than it was at the time.
Yep.
And I knew that I wasn't done. So when I woke up in the hospital, I didn't care that I couldn't move. When someone was going to be in a wheelchair, I was kind of like, oh, okay. Well, I've had a lot of ambitions that I wanted to do before I even got on a motorcycle, but I didn't have time for it. So I was like, I've always wanted to play the guitar, which I know how to play the guitar, but it wasn't very good. And I was like, nah, I have time to do that. They're like, well, your fingers don't work. I'm like, okay, well, you better give me a drum set and some duct tape so I can freaking duct tape some
Hell yeah.
to my hand. So I can figure out how to freaking knock these drums. And they're just like, oh, your fingers don't work. And I'm just like, oh, man, all right, well, let's figure this out. And I was like, I can't sing very well. You cut through my damn vocal cords and you reconstructed my neck. So let's figure this out here. I mean, rappers make beats on MPCs, so let's see how much those things cost. So it was just like a process of elimination. It's just figuring out problem solving.
Yeah,
and
that's such a cool way
in the world that people.
That's like we were talking before. Necessity is the mother of invention. Like you just have to adjust. Like I always tell people this because they're like, "How do you do what you do?" Or "How does Mario do what he does?" Or what are you doing better than me? And all these different things. It's like, dude, nothing. Like all I did is I just have a little bit different way of thinking because I don't do stuff the quote unquote normal way anymore. So you just have to figure it out, just like Mario said. Hey, go back to how you got hurt though.
So how I got hurt, basically, it was in contract with my parents, with my
Corey Cliff said what's up, too.
What's that?
Corey Cliff said what's up.
I was telling him, I said, what's up, man? That's awesome. But, yeah, basically, I wasn't supposed to be on anything with 4 wheels or 2 wheels or any wheels at all, aside from my road race bike and my road bike. So I can train and do my workouts and blah, blah, blah. And long story short, I was on my road bike ride on a Friday afternoon after I got off work. And my buddy gave me a call, and he's like, hey, dude, we just finished up the 6-pack. Come check it out if you're in the area. He knew my number. I had like 3 different rides that I would do. They were like 30-mile loops. It was like a 30-mile loop, a 45-mile loop, and a 20-mile loop. And he knew which I was on one of them. And he's like, oh, if you're in the area, dude, cruise by. And I'm like, all right, I'm like 10 minutes away. I'll cruise by in a minute. And so anyways, I ended up showing up. Everyone was BSing with each other, trying to figure out who's going to jump the jumps first and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, so those that don't know,
And-
of our audience that don't know what a six-pack is, it's just some bicycle jumps, some really big bicycle jumps, steep, like you see on the X Games. And all those
landing,
yeah, like
lip
big
landing.
jumps.
Yeah.
And there's three
and
in a row.
6 of them.
Yeah.
So it's a pack of 6.
Yep.
So we weren't out there sipping 6-packs. We were hitting jumps that was a pack of 6. So it was So I got there. Long story short, everyone was trying to figure out who was going to hit them first. I've always been a test dummy, and I'm just like, I mean, my biggest thing was like, pain is temporary, pride is forever. To be proud of what you do, is priceless. To be scared of pain is like just BS. And so, I mean, I've been in some pretty painful situations my entire life, breaking bones or whatever it may be. And so I wasn't afraid of pain. So I was like, yo, give me your bike, dude. I got to keep going. I got to keep my blood pressure up. I got to keep my heart pumping and everything else. And so I took my buddy's bike, ended up going to the drop-in. It was pretty sketchy. Like it was muddy. They had 2x6s laid out on the mud so we can actually roll over the mud and keep speed up and all that. And so I dropped in, hit the jump. First time I hit the jump, they were freaking gnarly, dude. They were like probably 8. I couldn't see the landing from how big the lip was. It was like an 8.5 foot lip to the same thing, 9 foot lip. They were step downs.
Dude,
whatever.
big jumps. That's rad.
Oh yeah, I mean my buddies that built them were all they're all professional mountain bikers now or professional BMX riders now, and but they were all younger than me. They were all the kids that I mentored. They were all the kids that I taught how to ride bicycles, how to build dirt jumps. So I'm just like, the whole pride thing set in, and I'm just like, oh shit, well, these are my little. I'm sorry, I'm not sure if I'm supposed to cuss on here or not, but
yeah, you can say bad words. Fucking A.
All right. So I took my buddy's bike. I dropped in, threw me so far in the trees, dude. I was just like, this is gnarly. Threw the bike away, landed flat ground, and I bruised my heel or whatever, cracked my heel. I'll never know because I haven't walked since that day. And I crawled off the trail. And then 2 of my buddies they're like a year or 2 younger than I am, that I basically taught how to ride and taught how to do all the stuff they do. They went and did it, cased the jump. They did it, but they cased it. So in my opinion, that's not really doing it. So I'm like, all right, well,
yeah, because you got to grease it.
They cased it. Yeah, I can send it. So I went up again, second time, and I went up again, sent it, cased it, and I'm just like, oh man, that's not doing it. I just cased the shit out of that thing. That's not good. So I went up again, third time, knowing I shouldn't have been on that bicycle. Like it was in my head the whole time. Like, get off the bike. This is what you're supposed to be doing. Like it was just like a recycling, like verbal thing that was telling me to just stop doing what I was doing. When you
got obligations, it's your sponsors and your contracts and stuff like that. It's difficult to do that, and plus it's just fun though. It's like that mental.
Exactly, and when you're in the moment, it's just so hard to just like, yeah. So I sent it again. Third time I sent it, I threw a little style in there, like a little turn down, pumped it, landed nice and smooth, buttery. Didn't even hear my landing. It was like, oh man, this feels good. You know, that's what I used to do. This is dirt jumping's fun, bro. Like, yeah, this is cool.
That's so
sick. I didn't say anything to the next people. I just basically, I was gonna hit the first jump. No one was hitting the first jump. No one was hitting the full 6-pack. And I was like, all right, well, I'm just gonna hit the whole 6-pack and just be on my way. And so I didn't say anything. I snuck back up to the roll in, and went up to for the fourth time to drop in. Dropped in. I hit the roll in. I got a little bit more speed than I had the last 3 times I'd hit it, and I missed the lip by like maybe the width of your cell phone, probably like 2 or 3 inches. And being that I hit it right there, it wasn't packed. So because we weren't hitting it there, and so the lip just gave way, and I went through the lip, over my bars, and that's pretty much the last thing I remember from my own like I guess.
Yeah, from your recollection.
Head. Yeah, for the moment, I mean, it gets weird from that point on. So I endoed and lawn darted into the next jump in front of me, and I woke up on the ground, and I heard everyone talking around me. It was like a dark room, like I was in like just a black abyss, and everyone was like, we can't touch you. And I'm just like, well, I'm face down in the dirt. I'm your friend. Are you gonna help me out or what? Like, I'm face down breathing in dust. Like, are you gonna roll me over? And like, we're not gonna touch you. You can really hurt. We want to mess you up. And I was just like, well, screw you guys, and I'll do it myself. And so I remember just trying to roll over myself. And I thought my arm was over my head, just kind of above my left arm was over my head. So I remember just trying to roll over. And that's the last thing I remember from my own body, was just trying to roll over and saying, screw you guys. And I just like popped out of my body, like just like a full out of body experience, and was like 30 feet above the whole situation, watching everything. I watched the fire truck get there.
That's nuts.
I watched the ambulance get there. I watched everyone just like tripping out, running around. Like there was like 25 people there, and just not sure what to do. And watched my parents show up, watched everything, watched them pull me off the trail on the gurney. And I was in total bliss, dude. I didn't have any pain. I was totally just in the most peaceful situation you can ever think of. And had this really bright entity next to me. And I was just watching the whole thing like Scrooge, like the movie, where he's watching from like the window outside.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And and so I was watching this whole thing. And while I'm watching this whole thing, according to the paramedics, I never lost consciousness at all. Like, I've been through the series of concussion questions.
Yeah.
I've been through like what day is it? What's your name? What blah blah blah? Like, where are you at? All that other BS. And according to them, I was fully conscious the whole time. Answered all their questions completely correct, but I wasn't in my own body. I was watching this happen, and I remember like vividly being told or asked, "Do you want to stay or do you want to go?" And I'm just like, I try to look at it or whatever, the bright entity of God, whatever you want to call it, spirit, and saying, what kind of question is that? And I was like, of course I want to stay. I'm not done yet.
Yeah.
And after that, I snapped like instantly back into my body, and I was back in my body. And
That gave me the
on
chills.
dude. Yeah, it was gnarly, bro. It was crazy. And I was back on the gurney, and I was looking. I just remember just looking up at my parents, and they're standing over me and apologizing. Like immediately, like the minute I saw them, the minute I opened my eyes, I was apologizing. I was saying, "I'm sorry." I started crying, and they're like, "What do you say? What are you apologizing for?" Like, chill out. Like, it's all good. Don't worry about it. Let's just take care of the problem at hand, and let's worry about that, and we'll worry about the rest of the next. But I didn't know what was wrong. I didn't know why I was crying. I didn't know what was actually happening. I didn't know I was paralyzed. I didn't know I broke my neck. I didn't know anything. I wasn't in any pain, and I was still in complete bliss. And I just knew that something at that point, from that day forward, was going to be completely different, and I didn't know why. And after that, I had I basically was on an induced coma for like 2 weeks or so in the hospital, and they had to pull my neck straight because I compressed my C6, or I actually disintegrated my C6, compressed my C4 and 5, and I no longer have C6, whatever. But they had to put like a full halo on, which I'm pretty sure you're aware of.
Yeah.
And drill the thing in my head, and then had to hang weights off my bed to pull my neck, decompress my neck, and then pull it straight.
Yep.
So they can actually remove all the particles in my C6 vertebrae and do surgery. So I went through 2 surgeries. They fused me in the front, and they built like a titanium cage for my C6 vertebrae, rebuilt my C6 vertebrae, and then fused me in the rear. So I went through almost over a day's worth of surgery, and they weren't expecting that. They didn't know if I was going to live or die or whatever. And I'm pretty sure I died, to be honest.
That's crazy, dude. That story is just nuts.
Nuts.
I mean, like, I didn't go that far into mine. Like, the 2 times that, I've had significant injuries have been different than that. But that's a good, gnarly story, man.
Seriously.
Holy cow.
Yeah, and I mean, and for me, it's just it's my life, and I can, not that I can care less, but I feel bad or feel worse that it was my parents were the ones that had to make the decision.
Yeah.
My family, the people that take care of me, that were the full believers in my ability, the people that I disrespected, disregarded their wishes, were the ones that were deciding what was going on, what was going to happen in my future. And for me to like understand, discern that was pretty rough. Like now thinking about it, at that point, I didn't know what was going on. Didn't really have the
but that
real understanding of anything.
hindsight's 2020, man.
Yeah, exactly. So I was just like in full bliss, where they were just tripping on if I was gonna live or die. And yeah, to be honest, like my parents are divorced. So when I woke up and I told my dad to have the bike straight for Daytona, and when I say my dad, I mean my stepdad. My stepdad's the one that basically raised me and got me into racing and all that. And he was like, all right, yeah, sure, whatever. And kind of like didn't really like acknowledge anything that I was saying, because then the doctor came in and he's like, well, I don't think you really understand the extent of the injury that you have at hand. Like, I've woken up in the hospital before. I'm going through therapy. I'm like, all right, let's get therapy started. Let's get therapy started. Let's get things moving forward. Let's keep things rolling so I can get back on the track.
Yeah.
Get back out of the hospital and
gotta fix it. Yeah.
Keep moving on my career. Like, whatever we need to do. And they're like, that's not the case this time. This time, blah, blah, blah. You need this type of therapy and you're a quadriplegic. I didn't even know what a quadriplegic was before I got hurt. I thought when you're paralyzed, when you're in a wheelchair, it's from the waist down. And they wanted to put me in a power chair. And I'm just like, a power chair? I was like, shoot, the first thing that popped in my head was South Park. And I was like, Timmy. And I'm just like, dude, I'm not going to be Timmy, dude. If I'm going to be in a freaking wheelchair, I'm going to have like some muscles. I'm going to be able to race something. I'm going to race a freaking spaceship. I'll race a helicopter. I'll race a submarine. I don't really give a shit. Like, just give me something to go fast in. I don't really care. And so they were like super confused on me. But then on that other factor, my stepmom and my dad were in the room as well. And so like it was like a factor of, wow, my parents are getting along. Like, if this is what it takes for them to actually be okay and be in the same room and not be argumentative and be okay with like our situation, then it's worth it. Like, it's okay. It's all good. Everything's chill.
That's a crazy way to think about it.
The situation, unfortunately. What's that?
That's a crazy way to think about it. Well, yeah, and I'm sure you went through all kinds of different emotions and different things like that along the road. But
I did and I didn't, dude. I thought I was gay when I first came out of ICU, to be honest. Like, they gave me so many damn drugs in there. Shoot, I remember when I went from ICU to rehab, that I had American Pie playing on the TV, and I had so many guests. Like, it was overwhelming. Like, I didn't even know, because like I said, I was incoherent for the first 2 weeks, and the first night, this is when MySpace was around. This wasn't even Facebook. This was MySpace. My buddy put a post up on MySpace, and like I said, I kind of cut myself off from high school and everything else when I was doing independent studies, and I was just focused on racing. And so, like, I had over 500 or 600 people show up to the emergency room in San Jose, which was like 30 minutes away from Gilroy, and they're all kids or whatever. But the ICU started kicking people out. They're like, we can't have this many people visitors. And so they were tripping out. And I was tripping out after they told me this fact, that I had done people care about me. And so I was like, this is really cool, whatever. And so when I really came to, and I was like watching chicks run around naked on my television screen and not really giving a shit about, like, titties bouncing around or whatever. And I'm just like, what the hell is going on? Like, am I gay? Like, what happened? What did I wake up into?
Yeah.
I look over at this girl I'm talking to, and I'm just like, hey, kiss me right now. And she's like, what are you talking about? I'm like, just kiss me. And she's like, okay. And so I made out with this girl I was talking to, like, whatever. Anyways, it was like a very confusing time where I had them take me off all painkillers or all pain drugs, because I had an experience with pain drugs before when I was like 13, 14. I broke my wrist and my ankle.
Yeah, you gotta be careful with medicine, man.
And I was like, I was all super depressed, and like I was in a, basically, I mean, I couldn't go train. I was watching my buddies go out and like race and practice and blah 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 and work out. And in my brain, I'm just like thinking, like I guess a female would, like, oh man, I can't go get stronger. I can't get faster. I can't work on my technique. I can't work on my ability. My buddy's getting faster than me. Like, what's going on? This sucks. Like, I'm stuck here in my house with my parents, like, with these casts and da 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 da. And like, I'm thinking all these thoughts that I would never normally think, and I couldn't even.
Half
take a
that
shit.
shit's because of medicine, though.
And exactly. And my mom's like, it's because of the narcotics. And I'm like, what are you talking about? It's because, and she's like, it's because of the Vicodin. And I'm like, well, fucking take this Vicodin, dude. I don't need this stuff. Like, this stuff is terrible.
Get it out of here.
This is the devil's poison right here. So I literally flushed my bottle of Vicodin down the toilet because I was taking those things like Skittles because I get immune to things so quickly that I was like popping 3, 4, 5, like just enough to like numb the pain.
Yeah.
And
that's happened to a lot of people, man.
Effect.
I'm glad that you were able to realize it, though, and use your strong personality to say, fuck it, and not have to worry about it anymore, though. Well, after you started after you started getting through all the stuff in the hospital, did you kind of start moving forward, like, with your mindset, or like what was the next step that you made progress with?
I mean, the next step was just my stubbornness, bro. Like, honestly, because they're like, you broke your neck, right? You're going to be in a lot of pain. Like, you can't withstand what you've been through and the bones that you've broken without any pain drugs. And I was just like, yeah, well, you know what it's like to not take a shit for 2 weeks?
Yeah.
And they're like, okay, well, we'll try it. You can stop taking your drugs, whatever. I guarantee you're going to ask for them in a day or two.
The same
I'm
thing.
like, okay, guarantee you I'm not.
Same thing that everybody told me, too. And I'm like, no, dude, I'd rather feel the pain instead of feel the drugs.
Exactly. You feel alive. You're not numb to the society, numb to the world, numb to your self-conscious.
I mean, it fucking hurts, but just deal with it, yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. And so I made him do that, and that was like the best thing that happened because it was like it definitely didn't feel good. It wasn't a great day in my life where I was just like, oh man, although it's just total bliss. I'm in that whole state of mind and the state of being where I don't feel pain and state of
it's a state of reality at that point.
That's exactly it. It's a state of reality of understanding of like, oh, I can't move my foot, I can't twist my toes, or like when I asked them what a quadriplegic was, I was just like, well, can I still raise something? And they're like, no, you definitely can't. And then my other question was, can I still have kids? And I'm like, well, we don't know. You might die. And I'm like, well, what the hell kind of answer is that, dude? Like that's
such a doctor answer. I hate those answers.
And it was so real to them that I didn't know what to say. So yeah, it was a trip, dude. Like I don't know. I've had problems with doctors my entire life, so I've seen them my entire life.
Yeah,
no problem, I guess.
You're almost like your best own doctor now. Yeah, the doctor came in when I broke
like,
my back.
You guys are practicing medicine.
Yeah,
I could practice medicine too.
Exactly.
So it's like we're all practicing here. If you don't know what it's going to do to me, I don't know what it's going to do to me either, because you don't even know my genetics and my actual chemistry in my brain and my everything. So how are you going to give me a chemical that's going to influence that systematically and affect and change the way that I see life and perceive life? That's all it is, perception.
Yeah, exactly.
And feel it. So they didn't understand what to say. So I had to have a sit down with my doctors, my therapists. I had three therapists quit on me because they just didn't like the way that my mindset was, I guess.
Yeah. They want you to be compliant. That's why.
Well, they just want. I'm just like, dude, you're an able-bodied person trying to teach me how to do things that you can do without even thinking about it.
Yeah, it's not the same. Yeah, that's a good point.
It's not the same.
Well, we know that
So I'm just like,
let's fast forward a little bit. We know that you went through all that stuff and the mindset. So you clearly have a strong mind. So over the next couple of years, you obviously had to learn how to do stuff differently. But when was it was it real soon after that you started getting these goals to race a car or to get back into school and stuff like that?
It was pretty immediate. It was 100% immediate. And I don't know why. my grandmother's very. She's a minister. She's a ministry license. She's very religious. I was very religious at the time, and I still am. Full blown Christian. I mean, I experienced God to the fullest when I left my body. I mean, like, I believe if I wasn't at that extent or at that point, I probably wouldn't be here today. But the first words out of my mouth to her was, "Don't worry, Graham. God has a plan for me."
Yeah.
And she was just like, she had no words. She just walked away sobbing, crying. And that came out like it was throw up. Like I didn't say it. It was just like what she needed to hear. It was really weird.
But
so,
then it kicked you in the ass to get going?
What's that?
It kicked you in the ass to get going and make up some decisions of how you wanted to proceed with your future?
Not really. It was just like I knew what I wanted to do. I knew what I had to do. I knew what I had done prior to being injured. I aside from being injured, I knew what I had worked for my entire life. I knew my desires. I knew my ambitions, and I knew that I was getting old. At 17 years old, as a motorcycle racer, you're getting old. And so if you don't sign a contract by the time you're... And I gave myself a timeline. If I wasn't 19, by the time I signed a contract and I wasn't doing what I wanted to do, I'd go to school and I'd get my education and whatever I needed to do to make money, to live life, and blah, 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 be a self-efficient human being and contributing member in society. But at that point in
I
time,
love the way
I
he
wasn't
put it,
done.
because he basically just said that he didn't want to ever be normal.
Pretty much, man. It was just like I'm not done. I know that it was the fact that I hadn't reached my fullest potential, and I knew that I had so much more to offer, or so much more to actually test myself and see what I can accomplish, than to actually give up and give in.
So what was the catalyst to like start being go back to school and be an engineer and stuff like that then?
I never went back to school.
Oh, I thought you
actually
said
got
you
to school
did.
When I was 15 years old.
Oh, okay. So
No, that was just
how
the
did
video
you-
I sent you. Microsoft wants people to think that people go to school, but that was the way that they edited the video.
How did you
unfortunately, and
how did you learn all that stuff then? Because so that our audience knows, like, Mario made his own hand controls and this own steering system. Like, he basically did what an engineer can't do, kind of thing. Like, again, necessity is the key to invention.
I went to a lot of engineering shops. I didn't know the process of actually creating a product. I went to CNC shops. I went to different engineering firms. I went to different people that I thought that were supposed to be able to help me, that I can relay information to, that I knew that my brain, how the controls should work, that I thought they can actually draw them out to actually create them. And they looked at me like I was crazy. I would shake their hand, and they would look at me like, "Yeah, bro, you can't even hold the pencil. You can't even hold the steering wheel."
Dude,
How are
that
you gonna
gets me
race a car?
that gets me so excited when he says that stuff, because I love hearing those stories. It's like,
Yeah.
no, fuck you, I got this.
I mean, it was just it was almost surreal, but it was like, it's like Einstein said. I don't remember the exact quote, but I thank all the people that told me no originally.
Yep.
Because they forced me to figure out a way to figure how to make it a yes, and how to do what I wanted to do. Because of them, I had to go and figure out. I mean, I've always been. My dad's a mechanic. My stepdad is a mechanic by trade, so I've had a very decent, very complex understanding of mechanics.
Yeah, you're a
and
logical
also a
thinker
fabricator
too.
as well. I understand how things work, and I'm very analytical, which is, it comes with any racer. Any real racer is very analytical on how things do what they do and why they do what they do and how to make them do things better. And so I was a problem solver. I'm an engineer.
I would love to just call you an engineer because you're a badass. But so to solve the problem that he was facing, he has limited function in his arms and in his legs, obviously. Some don't work at all and some work a little bit. And he has stronger shoulders. And so he needed to have a device that instead of a steering wheel, it was like, I don't know, it was more like a...
It looked like a Honda Odyssey type deal.
Yeah, like
when
a
they came out with the hand control.
like a F1 steering controller kind of thing. Like that's
It's better than an Odyssey, man.
Oh, by far.
But it's such a cool thing because you can operate the throttle. He has a twist throttle on there. You can shift gears by moving it back and forth. You can do the brakes, everything on this one individual system. Like, to be honest, when I saw it, I was like, fucking hey, dude, throw all this automotive crap out of every single automotive manufacturer. Throw your shit away and get the same thing that Mario has because that's a way better invention.
Oh yeah.
And I appreciate you saying that, and I can't wait to have you try it out and have you give your analysis on it because that's the
dude.
main
We'll
goal
put it
of
in the unicorn. He can go rip it around the desert. How sick would that be?
Yeah, let's do it. And I mean, I'm happy to do it. That's what I'm working on right now. That's what I've focused on the last season or two because, like, I was over in Scandinavia racing over there rallycross, and once I got back, it was just like I'm getting old. I got all these people contacting me to be able to actually go out and do what I'm doing. And for me to hold this to myself is very selfish. So to allow that freedom to other people, other individuals that want to do the same thing, it's priceless in my opinion.
So you'll be able to have like other people use it. Then you'll have a system that can be adapted to other vehicles and stuff.
It's done. I spent probably about 2,500 hours this last year or so. On the computer, which is my worst nightmare, just focusing on reconstructing everything because originally we had to do quite a bit to modify my BMW and everything else, but now it's on a quick release system where if you two want to go out to the track together, well, I guess you guys are both able to use pedals now, but if all three of us want to go to the track together, we could basically put a regular steering wheel on and you're able to drive with the steering wheel, drive with the pedals, and then once you're done driving, pop the steering wheel off on a quick release system, very quick release, like a quick release racing wheel, and pop my system on, pop them onto the pedals, and everything's quick change, interchangeable, and whatever vehicle. And you're able to go out and drive at a competitive level, professional level.
So we definitely need to keep talking because there's so many people that I know that are not able-bodied that really want to get into a side-by-side that needs some help with that stuff. Just like the kid Brandon that hit us up right now. He's one that could definitely use it. So let's definitely talk more about it in the future for sure. That's God, that is so cool, dude. Mad props.
I'm definitely into it because I appreciate that. And I don't know if you know Joe Duncan. He's the guy that runs Terracross.
Yep.
So my hand controls are actually going to be the official hand controls for Terracross in the next season they come out with. So I believe it's next year. We have a meeting in SEMA in a couple weeks. But
like he said, you got to go to the events, have meetings.
That's it. Spend the time and go.
Yeah, so it'll be really cool, man. I'm super excited. There's a lot of good people that want to try them. I'm excited to get them in Zanardi's hands. I'm excited to get them in Sam Schmiel's hands. Just a lot of really good individuals, Brad Baker, and just cool people that have done. I mean, even Aaron Baker have done great things on a motocross bike or two wheels or even four wheels and want to get back and going fast because there's so much that you can do with them. I mean, even able-bodied individuals. I think once they try them, they're going to be surprisingly shocked at how much you can do with them. I think
that's like with the first thing I saw. It was just so everything worked simple, so good. Everything was right there. It was so good. All your hand movements it was perfect. Yeah. That's what it looked like to me. It was perfect.
It's almost like, well, I guess playing a real life video game. But yeah, to go along with what you were saying, Mario, is that like we didn't have the same necessity for the same invention, but I can only use my feet very limited. So I put a clutch and different shifting on the center console, like a dirt bike, like a street bike, actually. It uses all the same stuff as Brembo calipers and hydraulic clutch and stuff like that. And so my necessity was a little bit different, but we went and did taught a driving school at the Bondurant Institute up in Phoenix. And so the Bondurant guys, like the instructors, they're like, fuck, this thing is bitching. Let me try it. And they couldn't figure it out at first. And then these are all professional drivers, by the way, like really good, able-bodied professional drivers. And then all of a sudden they get used to it. And they're like, dude, this is way better than a foot pedal.
That's what I said when I drove it. I was like, hell yeah.
So I can't wait to like get my hands on something like he has, because then it's just going to be like a whole different new game, you know?
Dude, it's like cheating, bro. Wait till you try it. You're able to trail brake, downshift, actually be on the throttle and hold the RPMs up where you need to be because you're dragging the brake. And then once you actually need traction, you grab a gear. Dude, it's like it's literally cheating. And you don't have to take your hands off the wheel once.
Dude, that would be so cool for somebody like Ferrari or Chevy or Audi or somebody to be able to purchase the equipment and the licensing for something like that. Hey, before I forget real quick, we are planning, and it's all tentative right now, but we're going to try to get some sponsors, and we're going to try to do the Dirt Life, and we're going to go across the country off-road, and we have a full off-road trail all the way across the country from Oregon. So kind of by you, but from Oregon all the way to South Carolina, and it's called the Trans-America Trail. And we're going to take the Unicorn and a couple different side-by-sides out there. And one of the things that I want to do is in every state, I'd like to give the opportunity to a disabled person to be able to drive the side-by-sides throughout that state and then be able to go home. So we should keep talking, too, because I'd like to see if we could outfit the cars with something like what your system is.
Dude, definitely. If I'm not a part of it, because I would love to be.
I would like you to start it because it's up in, starts in Oregon. So it'd be cool if you could start with you can go across the whole country if you have time. But let's talk more about it a little bit later. I want to keep the show about you. So the controls, you have them like lined up and you're starting to help people, but you still have a lot of ambition for yourself, not just in business, but like personal ambitions and goals with racing cars and shit, right?
Oh yeah, no, I my ambitions haven't changed. My focus has broadened a little bit. As far as a professional goes, it's a very selfish thing to be a professional. Anything, whether it's tennis, golf, football, whatever, motorsports, you gotta be selfish to your emotions, your times, your finances, everything that goes into being a self-involved individual to be able to succeed in whatever you're trying to do. And so now to have the ability to not be fully involved in my own career, I have the ability to actually expand and help other people, and that's amazing to me. So it's a very humbling thing, but it's also a very amazing thing at the same time, because now I do have the ability to broaden my horizon and help people, but the aspiration has never changed. It's still, I always want to see whether the title doesn't matter, whether I'm world champion of freaking moped racing or world champion of Formula One or world champion doesn't matter. I just want to see how far I can take my personal ability and just have a good time with good people.
Yeah,
because
absolutely.
That's one thing that I've invested in my entire life is like I enjoyed training as much as people hate it and talk about like how hard it is and
I love it too.
Like how the sacrifice and blah blah blah. It's like, dude, I would puke 4 times in my training sessions and keep moving because like I wanted to work harder and make sure I worked harder than the guy that's taking second and third, so I don't have to work that hard to beat him on race day.
Yep, exactly.
So it's just like I want to see that type of commitment and that type of work ethic matched with engineering and mechanics and technology. Dude, and see how far I can personally take my ability.
You can totally do it,
whatever motorsport. I hope so. I pray so. That's my aspiration. That's my goal. That's my dream. That's what keeps me moving.
Dude, look how far you've already come, man. You're already doing a fantastic job. Yeah, I got a story for you too. Like when I did the Ironman, I trained for about 5 years to be able to get up to that ability because somebody can train with an able body and get a body going pretty quick, but our bodies don't work the same way. So it took me a long time. But I remember when I was at the race, I was like going up this steep ass hill in Oceanside, and I was like, dude, this hill is way too fucking huge. I'm never gonna make it up. And I saw all these like big Arnold Schwarzenegger dude, all these fit chicks like getting off their bike and walking up this hill. I'm like, no way am I getting off this bike. And I just started throwing up everywhere and just kept my eye on the prize, just going sideways up the hill, throwing up, saying like, there's no way I'm gonna let up going up this hill. I made it to the top, barfed again, took a sip of water, and just killed it the rest of the way. So it's like the same exact attitude that you're talking about.
That's the mentality, brother. It's mind over matter, and we believe things that we believe them into existence. That's exactly the reality of what it is. The things that are real aren't even real until we believe they're real, and until we make them real, which is the same thing with the controls. They didn't exist until I thought them in my head and designed them and created them and made them into actual reality.
Can you imagine, like,
same thing with everything else?
If in, like, I don't know, let's just say a year, 5 years, 10 years, whatever, if that's a commonplace item, like in able-bodied people's cars, disabled-bodied people's cars, like, how cool would it be for him to have that much success because he invented something so sweet?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm excited about the future, but I'm afraid of the future at the same time, to be honest, because of being on this side of it with like the engineering side and the 3D printing side and everything else that's going on to actually.
With your personality, you got to be scared of something like that because you can't be. If you were comfortable with it, you wouldn't want it to succeed as much. You got to love that drive and that scarcity because it drives you even more.
Yeah, no, it's very exciting, but it's also very frightening at the same time as far as technology goes because of how much electronics are doing for people now. Like
I see what you're saying.
Drive Ferrari Challenge, or you go drive Super Trofeo, or whatever it may be. There's so many electronics involved. Like I do a lot of coaching as far as on track and in cars and whatnot. And the first thing I work on with individuals that are new to not track driving in general, but just track driving in a new car or a faster car or a higher performance car that they think of, they have all these different electronics that are helping them get around the track. And the first thing that I tell them is turn everything off.
Yeah, 100%.
Figure out how to drive that car, because I've seen a dude roll a freaking $150,000 Audi at Thunder Hill because he had the electronics halfway turned on and halfway turned off.
Yep, that's
where
not a
he's
good
trying
thing.
he's trying to counter steer, and the car's trying to do the same thing, and he's fighting the car and fighting the electronics, and he ends up rolling the freaking car. And I'm just like, dude, this is not correct, brother. What are you doing?
Yeah.
He's like, well, this is the place I'm supposed to do it, right? I'm like, this is the place you're supposed to turn everything off and figure out how to spin your car off and figure out where the limit is, because no one knows the limit anymore. And I don't even know my own personal limit, and that's my biggest falter. That's my biggest hindrance is we don't have limits as individuals. As human beings, I don't believe in a limit. So if you put an electronic limit on us and then our brain's trying to override that or one or the other, it's not going to go well.
Yep, it stops you right away. Well, with those electronics, like there's also like ideas that you could come up with too. I mean, like your system, obviously it bolts up and it, has extensions and stuff for the pedals and things like that. But with fly-by-wire and all this different stuff, man, if you have sensors and electronics combined into that thing, you could have a plug-and-play module that goes into, like, let's just say an Audi R8 that all you do is plug it in, and you don't have to have any extensions on it. All you do is just have adapters in the ECU, and it just plugs right into the car. So there's all kinds of cool, fun stuff that you can get into.
And that's the gray area that I'm trying to avoid, because I appreciate the electronics because they're great, because they've eliminated things that I have to take into consideration, like a clutch and things like that. But they also eliminate the control over the vehicle, where an actual robot or a computer system or an algorithm is taking control over what an individual should understand how to do. So it's a great aspect as far as
I guess in the racing world, I could see what you're saying. In the daily driving stuff, like all that stuff would be super cool. But in the racing world, you don't want any of that shit.
Exactly, and that's where my whole just contradiction comes into play where I'm trying to figure out what's right, what's wrong, how to go about making things for every diversity. And right now,
let's switch subjects a little.
pretty,
Let's switch subjects real quick, if you don't mind. What was the greatest accomplishment that you have to date? Like, do you like really enjoy and like consider that, you know, making it that high in the world of street bike racing or road bike racing was like your favorite thing, or is like something like this more meaningful to you?
I mean, I had a lot of really good experiences as a kid as far as racing goes, as far as accolades goes, as far as winning and experiences and all that. But I don't think those really amount to anything. I think they are temporary successes. And
it takes a lot for a person
to,
like a racer to say that too.
Yeah.
I'm finding that out like as I grow older in life, and so for him to find that out like right now is pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, they're fake accomplishments in my opinion, and that's where what I've had to learn. I've had to humble myself, and that's what the injury did to me as far as like figuring out who I am as a person. It has really humbled me and really put me in check as far as what is real and what means the most. So,
are you still able to grab onto those positive things that you've learned throughout the years, though? Because there's a lot that you learned up until you were 17 years old that's affected this portion of your life.
Oh yeah, and that's where my personal contradiction comes into play, because I was a totally different person when I was a kid to where I'm I wouldn't say I'm a totally different person now, but I think I'm a different person than I would have been hadn't I gotten hurt.
Yeah, 100%. It definitely makes your mind a completely different individual, that's for sure.
And I think the fact that I never left racing really affected it, because I've had a lot of people that I know that are still professional racers and still, like, my buddy won the world championship in World Superbike, won the world championship in Supermoto, all these different things, flat track and all that. And it's just like I was always in it. I never left mentally.
Yeah.
Like the minute I got to the hospital, the minute I was able to get back on track, I was on track. But it wasn't the road race track. It was now a new world. It was a new tree that I was climbing, which was the 4-wheel tree.
Yeah.
And trying to figure out how to get up which branch I wanted to climb first. So I understand a lot of different aspects.
What was it like to get back in the race car? Like, what was the feeling like when you got back in there with your controls and be able to rip?
It was the most normal thing that I've felt in my entire injury.
You probably felt super calm and like relaxed and stuff, huh?
I always feel relaxed when I'm on the starting line.
Yeah.
As a kid, my parents used to yell at me, and my dad used to be like, "Wake up! It's time to race. Let's go do some jumping jacks." Blah blah blah. And he was like, "Why are you yawning on the starting line?" I'm like, "Dude, I'm just chilling, bro. I'm ready for the flag to drop. Like, what are you talking about? Why are you yawning?"
I'm ready to go.
It's a state of mind that you get in, and so it was like, yeah, it was the most normal thing. I was like, all right, this guy's got 4 wheels and an engine right next to me. Let's see who's got bigger balls and more skills to actually pull it off and go faster.
Sweet, man.
To have that ability and have that actual privilege and withhold it from general population or people that want it and need it, throttle therapy, in my opinion, around the world is very selfish. So for me to sit down this year, or the last year and a half or so, to actually hash it out and make it possible for people to actually do, it wasn't a big. It was hard for me to do, to be honest, but it wasn't.
Yeah, because
it wasn't like you're twisting my arm.
Yeah, and you're working for other people too, so it makes it that much more of a lofty goal. We're gonna have to get you hooked up with an organization that we deal with called the Warfighter Made Organization, and what they do is our buddy Robert Blanton that operates that organization. He gets all the guys with amputees, spinal cord injuries, anything like that. And he puts them all back to work and gets them going and gets them off-road therapy, street therapy, motorcycle therapy, anything like that. So he has a lot of need for stuff like your controls too. So there's a lot of stuff that we can collaborate on.
man.
It'll be pretty bitchin'. You have a lot of people that help you. That help you too, don't you? Like, I know you do all this stuff on your own, but you clearly have to work with a lot of people, and you have some good relationships and stuff. Do you want to thank anybody?
I want to thank.
First, I want to thank you for being a badass.
Exactly. No, I definitely want to thank you for just being a part of the journey, being a part of my life, and I know we haven't met in person yet, but it's just like people like you keep me moving, keep me pushing forward, keep me waking up every day to go actually and
vice versa,
make this happen for other people. So it's just like, it's the people that told me no originally that I want to thank, because I've learned so much because of them telling me no.
Yep.
And me having to go figure out how to do things myself and learning how the world works, learning how the industry works. But also there's certain individuals that I do like. My parents, they've been there from the beginning, whether they want me to race or not, whether they want me to chase a different career, pursue a different career, that I can have a more sustainable income and be six figures and be settled and have a family and give them grandkids. And
well, who doesn't want that? But yeah,
I don't, but it's all good. So it's just kind of like them. Like Red Bull's been great. Wings for Life has been amazing. They're a different company that I've ever worked for or worked with, because of the way that they actually take care of their partners.
Red Bull is a fantastic company, man. Like the things that they do are just insane. They bought the Dana and Christopher Reeves Foundation for spinal cord injuries.
Oh, really?
And it's called Red Bull Wings for Life now. And Red Bull Wings for Life, their motto is "We will find a cure for spinal cord injuries." Not like we're looking to help out.
Cool.
They will find a cure. So when he's talking about that, he's not saying it lightly. He really appreciates what they're doing.
That's cool.
And it's amazing, man. It's like they are not basically. So I'll give you a quick rundown. But when I first got injured, I didn't really realize how much clothes cost, because I never had to pay for them. They just everyone's like, "Well, what's your style?" My style is what people give me.
Yeah.
Whatever my sponsors give me to wear, that's what I wear. So that was kind of how it was. When I went to freaking Zoomies for the first time to buy a T-shirt, I was like, "Are you kidding me? $50 for a T-shirt? $60 for a T-shirt?" I was like, "I need some sponsors real quick, man. This is crazy. I can't even afford to wear clothes. Like, this is nuts." So I sent out like 150 emails in one night to start racing go-karts. And actually Red Bull was the first one to get back to me within like 12 hours. And I still have the email. I have it printed and I have it hung on my wall. I would show you, but my service looks like it kind of sucks on your guys' end. But it basically says, like, we appreciate your enthusiasm, we appreciate your story and what you're trying to do, and da-da-da-da-da. But we don't have a sponsorship program. We have a scouting program, and we basically scout the best athletes in the industry, and we invest everything we have in them to make them the best they possibly could be. And I was like, oh, I fully respect that. That's awesome. Hopefully I'm one of the guys you guys are scouting out in the next couple of years, and I'm going to be looking to beat all of your Red Bull athletes. And that's kind of how I left it. And they're like, all right, cool. Well, we'll send you the care package, da-da-da-da. Turn back to today, and now I'm working with them personally, and everyone's just super, just amazing. Like, everyone there is just like it's like family. It literally is. They're very selective on how they work. They're very calculated. They're very.
I love that, dude. The family environment.
I can't think of the word I'm thinking of saying, but
they're
very methodical.
They're carrying their passion.
Yeah, they're very methodical. They're very understanding as far as what they can get out of you, what you can give to them, and the reason they want to work with you, and why you can help them, why they can help you, kind of thing. So it's been an amazing experience. So I would love to thank them for that, and just like Go Parts, the people that are associated with it and the people that I've gotten or been introduced to through them because of certain networking groups that I'm involved in and mentors that I have along the way that have introduced me to people that think I need to talk to or need to know and that would love to know my story. So they've just been a huge asset in that, and Marwin Motorsports, and a lot of good people that are
I
out
think a
there
lot
that
of
have
people could
helped.
benefit from hearing your story, man. It's such an inspiration. You know, we both think the world of each other, but I definitely, when I get up in the morning, I think of what are you gonna what's Mario gonna do today? What are you gonna do today? Like that competitive drive, like it's like, how can we help each other, but how can we get better at the same time? Like kicking ass. Well, what does the future hold for you, dude?
Hopefully something good, man. I honestly, I couldn't tell you. I'm just, I go with the flow. My right now, because of the fact of not having a right. I mean, you know as best as anybody. Right now is the race to race. I call it for the time that you have to go get sponsorship for next year and
Yep.
actual partners for next year and budgets allocated. So I haven't sent out any resumes. I haven't even created a resume for this season or next season because I've been so focused on the business side of things. And until I have that solidified and everything else that everyone else is taken care of and everyone else is able to go out and do what they want to do, for me, it's just like it's just like a bonus. If I get to go out and race next year, that's awesome. That's amazing. I'm stoked. If I have the money to do so, then that's awesome. But if not, I'm still focused on getting things done so people can actually go do what they want to do because I know that they're not going to do it for themselves. So if I can help them in that one step and get them to actually just test it and try it and like almost be like a drug dealer and like, here's your free sample.
Yep, that'd be
give
so
them a real
cool.
quick sample, then that would be amazing. That would be just priceless to me. And then from there, if I can finance my own racing series or if someone wants to come along the way, such as Red Bull or any other partners that I'm working with and fund my passion, my dreams, my goals, my aspirations, that's a bigger benefit. But in all honesty, I'll race a Pinto at this point in time. I really don't care.
You just want to get back out there and rip it on the track.
I try. I just want to have a good time with good people, man. And so if it means racing, I mean, I tried. Like I saw you post that I tried a side by side, or it was actually a Razor RS1 for the first time on the 4th of July or the weekend of the 4th of July. That was freaking amazing, and I would love to get into one of those.
What did you use as like?
Did
you use your hand controls in there?
Yeah, I just had my buddies pulling out of my car. I was like, "You know, pull the ones out of my car and just put them in the thing, and we'll strap them up." There's a video on YouTube actually of it.
So he got in a Polaris in a Razor RS1. He just got in like stunt, like just stock one, and he went fucking bananas right off the bat. Like he went like he was a good ass driver, like right off the bat, like no problem, dude. It was sweet to see that, man. I hope that we'll be able to get you in one of these little bit different side by sides and get you out shredding with us.
No, that'd be amazing. That'd be a dream come true. Because right now I'm just like I'm going with the flow, and until I got the funds to be able to actually support myself, and I mean I'm getting old realistically. I mean, so
you got a long life ahead of you, man. Yeah. Well, that brings us to our last question, pretty much, and I think you kind of already answered it. But what do you want to be remembered for, man? We ask this to every single person that we interview. When you're on your last breath, what do you want people to remember you by?
Just being real, being a true individual, just being a true human being, and being able to actually give back to society, give back to the world, give back to anybody that deserves it or wants it, and actually achieve their fullest potential. Because I mean, my biggest thing is everyone is blessed with a talent, a God-given gift, and most people are too afraid to use it, or even explore it. And if I can help just tap into that a little bit, then or even spark it, like Tupac said, I may not be the one to change the world, but I guarantee I'll be the one that sparks the mind that does.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
that's kind of how my ambition is on society in general, where it's like, if you think you can do it, but there's some hindrance in your mind or some question, because the thing I found out is the biggest problem with society and doctors and parents and individuals that are in your lifestyle, whether you're able-bodied or not, is people telling you can or you can't do something.
Yeah.
People believe it for some reason.
Yep.
And it's like, you can do this, you can't do that, whatever. You came from the hood, you came from fucking Compton, whatever. And that's
None
not
of
what's
that-
supposed to be.
but none of that- None of that matters. You're right. Like, none of that matters.
Exactly. And it's just like, it's how bad do you want it? And so if I can inspire one individual to change the world or change their world, that's great. If I can be remembered for anything, I really don't even care if I am remembered or not. I just want to be able to impact society on a level that they will continue to raise the bar.
Yeah.
Where it's
Just be better people in general. I agree with you.
right now. Yeah, it's just like, stop questioning yourself, start questioning what's told to you. Saying, okay, well, 2 times 2 is 4, or yeah, it's 4, right? Anyway, so, but it's just like, question everything and make your own reality and just create it, because it's not real. Like, our perception is our reality. So if you can dream it, you can make it. And that's the facts. And it's just about a matter of how bad you want it. So I don't care if I'm remembered or not. I mean, my glory is to God. Like I said, I already died.
I think that's such a good answer, man. And I agree with your perception quote. The a quote that I remember, and I don't know if I'm going to say it exactly, like kind of what you said earlier, is, if the eyes of perception were open, everything would be equal. And we have such a closed perception as a society. It really fucks people up. But I love that you have an open perspective on your life and how you're being able to do all these things, because the stuff that you're doing, man, I know that you might think it's nominal, and we'll know that it came from, we'll call it an athlete selfishness, you know what I mean? But that device that you came up with, man, is going to change a lot of people's lives, and that's just one thing that I'm sure is in your head, because you want to help so many people. So we appreciate you doing what you're doing, brother.
No, and I appreciate that more than you know. I've sat back and questioned myself more than once, and that's not a lie, man. Like,
questions lead to answers, though, dude. Questions lead to answers, and you're answering them right now. So
if you seek, you shall find, right? So it's just, yeah, no, and I appreciate that. So hopefully it does help a lot of people, and hopefully people can go have a good time, and it's just a good life for everyone to have, and a good experience, because I don't think we're supposed to suffer, at least not throughout our entire life. A little bit. I think we deserve to suffer a little bit and figure out what that means, so we can have some empathy for each other.
Yep.
But
everybody deserves to live,
I
too.
think doors need to be open.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I love your answers, man. That was really cool. How about now that I know you live in the moment a lot, so let's just you and I talk a little bit more, and we'll plan on helping just a few people along the way in the ride across the country. We'll get you involved. We'll have some fun. We'll do some podcasting. We'll just have a good time, man. We'll use all these cool things that I did. Well, I'm going to have some leg braces coming out to help people. You'll have the steering wheel to come out to help people. We'll just go kill it, and we'll just have some fun. And if none of this stuff comes to fruition, we still know that we had a good time.
I look forward to it, brother. That sounds like a plan to me.
Mario, you're a badass, dude. We got to get going and stop the show right now. But, dude, you did an amazing job of the interview. You're a fantastic person, dude.
Love your story, bro.
You're
really
so goal-oriented. We couldn't ask for anything more, dude. So let's definitely keep in touch. We'll have you back on the show, too.
No, I look forward to it, brother. I look forward to going and chasing you around the track one of these days.
Hell yeah, dude. Sounds good to me. Well, you have a great night, dude. We love you. Thank you so much.
Likewise, bro. Much love to you guys. Take it easy.
Latest.
Dude, what a story, dude.
I know that some people might not have tuned in for that whole thing, but, dude, like,
When he started talking about,
he's a young kid, and to have that much of a life story already, holy shit, man, that is just badass.
Yeah.
And he's humble to a point. He's like every we'll call him egotistical racers. So a lot of them aren't because they're humble guys, but you have to have, like he said, a certain level of selfishness to be able to succeed to that level. Every guy does. Chad Reed does. Eli Tomac. Every guy does. But the fact is he's really genuinely going to help people now with his necessity for his invention. So I honestly want you to try this steering wheel. I want me to try this steering wheel.
And just in that video, I was like, dude, this thing would be so much fun.
Dude, it just looks bitchin'. And now that we've talked to him, like, I have so many ideas running through my head on how we can help people go across the country in these side-by-sides. Or even just going out to Glamis and having a Glamis day with the Barrows Neurological Institute.
Make tacos there for dinner.
Dude, Miles Cheek making tacos. Mario supplying all the hand controls.
Man, I think we got some stuff planned, don't you think?
Dude, I'm stoked.
Episode 10.
Episode 10 is in the books now.
That was good.
All right, thank you to all our sponsors: Shock Therapy, Fuel Wheels, Rigid Industries, Zollinger Racing Products, Solder Weld. Am I forgetting anybody? And
Rigid.
Thank you. I think I said Rigid. But anyways, Rigid again. So thank you, everybody, for tuning in and listening. We really appreciate it. Please comment, like, subscribe, do all that crap.
Merch is going to be available.
Yeah, but we got a surprise merch, though, soon. It's a really, really cool shirt. And it might have something to do with tacos. So merch is going to be available very soon, and that's going to be really cool for you guys to pick up. But anyways, we love you guys so much.
See you guys this weekend. Glamis Camp Razor.
See you guys at the track. Lucas Off-Road Racing. Episode 10 in the books. Love you. Peace.
You've been listening to The Dirt Life Show with George Hamill and Cody Sanders. No desert tortoises were harmed during the production of this episode. However, a tap threw up and somebody shot a duck.